Hello and welcome to episode 208 of the Random Nintendo Podcast. I'm Jason.
And I'm Angel.
And I'm Kevin?
You are.
I am. I'm not too sure.
I would hope you are, because we were under the impression Kevin would be joining us. So if you're not Kevin, we have a problem.
Let me check my ID.
Okay. While you do that, I'll explain.
A round of applause for our
Yeah.
third chair.
So,
Woo!
yeah, exactly. So it's been years.
I am Kevin.
Okay, there we go. But yeah, it's been years since you've been on, but we used to every so often have a third chair, and it was usually you, and now here you are, third chairing again. I guess. I don't have much else to say about you.
So
anyway,
call this episode Boys to Men.
Not that
talking about
what?
Yeah. So in this episode, Angel's already kind of spoiling the fun, but we're calling this
let me
episode...
butcher Jason's.
Hold on. We? I don't know about this we stuff. You're calling this episode Boys to Men.
Oh yeah.
No,
yeah.
I said Jason's calling it.
Let's
Boys to Men.
back it up. It's not Boys to Men. You guys are both wrong. This is what happens when you get third chair. It's chaos. No, it's called Game Boys to Men. Because we're talking, I can't say that straight face. We're talking about the 30th anniversary of the Game Boy this episode, specifically North American release.
I don't think I've ever heard a Boys to Men song.
Were
they popular?
The early 90s.
Yeah,
shortly after the
90s
Game Boy
or
came
80s?
out. I think early 90s, maybe late 80s.
Before Vanilla Ice?
I was born in 93, so.
It was
during
in
Vanilla
tandem.
Ice?
It was in the Vanilla Ice era, if you will.
Hmm.
But they didn't have a Ninja Turtle movie song, if you're trying to figure that part out.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, so we're talking about the 30th anniversary.
Could they have been on the soundtrack?
They could have been.
Okay.
It's
We'll find out later.
very much in the realm of possibility. But yeah, so besides talking about Boys to Men and their discography or lack thereof, or what they're on or what they're not, we're also talking about 30th anniversary of the Game Boy here in the States. And it's the same age as at least two of us at this table, me and Angel. So.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, you're a month away.
Not even.
Same year.
It's like a month and a few weeks.
Same year.
Yeah, I am not 30.
Point is, you will be soon. The point is, like, it's interesting that it's turning 30. We're turning or already turned 30. So we're going to kind of look at not just what Game Boy meant to us as kids, but like what gaming means to us now as adults by comparison. And besides that, we also have impressions of Hero and Smash Bros. We have a breakdown of Nintendo latest financials, some new Switch game announcements worth sharing, impressions of some smaller releases like my Switch Force Collection and Astro Bears, plus Pokemon Go, plus who knows what else. So there's a lot. There's timestamps on Nintendo.com and under this video if you're listening to us on YouTube. But let's start with that milestone. Let's talk about Boys to Men. Let's talk about the Game Boy.
Boys to Men is that I'll Make Love to You song, right?
Correct. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Boys to Men is mainly played in the bedroom.
yes.
I guess it's not really ringing any bells, but
Much like our podcast. I like to say.
the first.
Hey girl, let me just put the random Nintendo podcast on real quick. Get you in the mood.
Exactly.
I think the first time I ever heard the word Boys to Men was when our friends were making fun of our other friend's coat that he wore to Knott's Berry Farm. He wore like a lab coat.
His Jedi robes.
No, it wasn't Jedi robe. It looked like a lab coat, but it had like kanji on the back of it.
Oh, right. The super long.
It's what Gilbert wore once, yeah. He never wore it again after that. We called it Boys to Men or something.
I said that too. The only reason, for people listening, I said that to his girlfriend. She laughed at his face and he never wore it again. Anyway.
Yeah, same thing with the Jedi robe.
Boys to Men is usually the punchline of a joke nowadays.
Yeah. Or of a great... Debatable, great pun.
Yeah, debatable.
But yeah, let's start actually talking about the other half of the pun, the Game Boy. Show of hands doesn't work. We're on audio. Show of voice. Who owned the actual original Game Boy, like the brick? Because I didn't.
I didn't. My cousin did.
And what about you?
Same deal. I played it through my cousin.
Do you share a cousin? Is it the same cousin?
No,
but
not that we know.
So, what was your actual first Game Boy? Like, what was your Game Boy? What games did you get? Like, what?
I feel like it was
introduced
basically
you to
that one
handheld
because my cousin pretty much let me borrow it all like the entire time that I would go like to Mexico. And back then, when I would go to Mexico growing up, we would go for like almost 3 to 4 weeks sometimes, and he would just give us his Game Boy, and we only had Kirby's Adventure on it, so that's like all we would play. We would just like beat the hell out of the game basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, eventually we got our own Game Boy Color. That was like Mines and Novices, this Pokemon, those nice Costco Sam's Club packs that come with the strategy guide and the carrying case.
Yeah,
and
that's where I got mine.
And everything.
Again, are you the same person?
I mean, I didn't get a strategy guide out of it. I just got a purple Game Boy Color.
Then, then you get your Game Boy Advances. We didn't get SPs or Micros. That's kind of where it stopped. But yeah.
What about you, Kevin?
Yeah, I didn't have a Game Boy. My cousin did. He lives in the house right behind us. So just head on over, play a little Tetris. I think Tetris was the only game that he had.
They come bundled with it, so that makes sense.
I vaguely remember playing Kirby, but like being terrible at video games when I was 4.
It's crazy because that game's like you could just fly over the entire stage.
Yeah, but when you're 4, you don't know.
Yeah, but when I'm 4 years old, when I'm 4 years old, I'm not thinking about the hacks. Of, yeah, and then eventually got a Game Boy Color Purple. I think Gold and Silver were my first games, and yeah, got an Advanced SP, and then after that, that was the end of the Game Boy line. So
yeah, pretty much.
No micro for you?
No.
I got a micro, but Nintendo gave it to me. I didn't buy it.
Micros are really rare nowadays, apparently.
Yeah. I love the micro. The micro, I was going to talk about my first Game Boy, but first, the micro is awesome. I'm just saying. It's very small. Like, the screen is
He literally
very small,
carries it around everywhere.
I have it in my pocket at all times.
So the only reason that I never got into the micro was because text was a huge issue, apparently, on it. Or not that it was a huge issue, but
small.
it wasn't, text was really small.
So I mostly played, they sent me the micro, and then a week later, separately, for unclear reasons, sent me Donkey Kong Country 3. You'd think they'd put them in the same package. But anyway, double shipping. So I mostly played platformers on it, and stuff that wasn't text heavy, and it was great for that. It was super, nice and compact. It feels really good. The build quality, by Nintendo standards, especially at that time, was way better. It had, a metal frame and stuff. But yeah, I could see if you tried to play say Golden Sun on there.
Yeah, that was
one of the manas. It would not.
Golden Sun had those super long passwords.
Exactly.
And then just trying to put those in on the micro just seems like a nightmare. Yeah, I'm sure some people did it, but they got more heart than I do.
And faceplates though, maybe the passwords are hard, but you can make it look like camouflage or neon or denim. I think they had a denim one.
Yeah, the micro was underrated.
It was.
I feel like the 2DS is the micro of. The DS lifespan.
I think to some extent it is, but the 2DS's build quality is in a totally different direction. The micros, they almost aspired for it to be a fashion item, which was kind of strange. I remember all the ad campaigns were look at my cool accessory, my micro, it matches my outfit. And then the 2DS is you could throw it at a kid's face and you'll probably be okay, and it will probably be okay.
That's pretty much what the new 3DS...
The new 2DS XL?
No, the new 3DS, the one with the interchangeable faceplate. The one that I got at... Where did I get? At Fry's. I think I got it the same night. Didn't you also get one, Kevin, the same day that I did? You got a new 3DS, the one with the Mario print.
For Black Friday, right?
Yeah, Black Friday.
No, I don't think I just got one of the new 3DSs, but
well,
I don't remember you buying one.
No, I got one.
It's somewhere in this room.
No, it's in the other room. Elvis uses it to be its attorney. But I wish there were just more faceplates easily available for us. You would have to go through the Nintendo website, and they didn't have the biggest selection. Then you look at Japan, and it's they were drowning in them. That pretty much feels like what the micro was.
It is a good example of Nintendo never giving up on an idea, which is my favorite thing to talk about, because micro didn't do well, faceplates for whatever, and then what if we did it again, but with the system that's actually doing well, and then proceeded to not actually release faceplates. But they never. We'll see faceplates again. Wait for the Switch Pro or something.
Yeah, I saw they had one for being a 3DS ambassador or some kind of ambassador or something.
The faceplate?
In Japan, you got a faceplate for being an ambassador, which sounds like a nice little subtle brag. Just slap it on your 3DS and everywhere you take it. It's yours doesn't look like mine. But it also doesn't look that great.
It was a cool personalization thing, and that's something that I feel like Nintendo's handhelds in general, and Game Boy really pioneered it. Was really good at make it yours, make it your own. Oh, we didn't mute your computer, but make it your own. Do your do your own thing. We have, every time they come out with Game Boys or now DSs or 3DSs or Switches, there's all these different colors. And that was prior to that, I guess they were kind of borrowing from Walkman actually, because Walkman did that too. I feel they had all the different discs.
I'm not as old as you. What is a Walkman?
So
I'm joking. I'm joking.
When you listen to music, but it's on physical tape.
Oh, the thing Star-Lord had.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. Walkman. My dad owned a Walkman.
But yeah, I feel they kind of borrowed it from that. Honestly, the Game Boy name was ripped off from Walkman too. Walkman, Game Boy. I remember some. Did you never piece that together till now? You didn't think about that? That's
I never thought about that.
Yeah, they're cribbing on the same way they ripped off Apple's design for the Wii and the DS Lite. They ripped off the Walkman trend for Game Boy. And some execs at Nintendo of America, I remember reading at one point, didn't think the name would work because they thought it would be too it's too gender specific and kind of patronizing because they're boys, not men. It should be man. And Nintendo Japan's no, let's just do it. And then 118 million later,
history made.
But yeah, my first Game Boy, to go back to that, was the Pocket, which I think I got for my 6th birthday or something like that. And like my parents kind of hooked me up game-wise. I had Donkey Kong Land 1 and 2. I had Kirby's Dream Land 2. The Donkey Kongs with the yellow banana cartridge, naturally. I had Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2, and I had Star Wars Return of the Jedi. So basically a bunch of sequels.
Some heavy hitters there.
Yeah, there's some good ones and some weird ones. It's a weird, odd mix of things. But it's kind of like what you were saying, how you were like too young to really appreciate some of it. Like when I was a little kid, like anything was fun. Like I would do the same level of Star Wars over and over again, never get past it and not care.
Yeah, there was a bootleg game I really enjoyed that I used to own. I probably still do somewhere. It was like a supposedly 64 games in one kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really just 9 games, and the rest of them are just like the titles go all the way to 64, but it just repeats. So like after game number 9, game number 10, it's just game number 1, but with a different title.
Mm.
And they somehow came up with like 6 different titles for each. But yeah, there was the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle was in there.
So you can back me up on this.
It was
actually a really fun game.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was weird how your Bugs Bunny going around killing everybody.
So yeah, so for those who haven't played, or Kevin, I don't know if you know anything about it, but
Murderous Rage.
It's what?
Bugs Bunny Murderous Rage.
Yeah, essentially. It's so basically he's locked in this castle, this crazy castle, and is trying to get out. And in Japan, it actually was Roger Rabbit, not Bugs Bunny, which is a weird licensing switch around. But yeah, the whole premise was you can't jump. You can just go around and like hit enemies.
You can't jump as Bugs Bunny?
Nope. Or as Roger Rabbit. 2 creatures.
Yeah, that
known for jumping.
Known for their hops. Like
they can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the whole premise was it's kind of almost like the Mario versus Donkey Kong games, except you didn't have little minions behind you or mini Marios. You just had you. But you're navigating these kind of like Donkey Kong arcade style levels, just trying to avoid enemies.
Yeah,
and
you
get
can't
to the
touch
door.
anyone. You have to push anvils on top of people when they line up perfectly right under you.
So it's kind of more of like a puzzle game than a normal platformer. And that actually is pretty fun. I would be down with them doing some sort of reboot of it for like $5-6 on the eShop or something.
That's way too much for that.
That's way
game.
too much.
No, because the levels got more interesting and complicated.
I played a lot of it, and then I also went back to revisit it around college times, and I'm like, it didn't really age that well.
Oh, that's too bad.
Same thing with this Godzilla game that was also part of that bundle that I thought was amazing when I was a little kid, but it's actually pretty terrible. So
yeah, how do they do Godzilla on Game Boy? What's the?
It was really weird. You play as like a tiny little Godzilla, and I guess you're just like climbing up vines, and you're just punching other monsters with like a fireball, but the fireball is just a giant fist, and that's pretty much it.
Interesting.
It's like a less interesting version of Crazy Castle, but I liked it more because it was Godzilla.
Right.
Until
Yeah. I will say, like, obviously none of those games I listed off, like, my first Game Boy games were, like, my favorite Game Boy games. I mean, the Donkey Kongs were good. Kirby was fine, but, like, I did enjoy them at the time. And, as time went on, I don't know what, like...
They had a lot of really good games.
Yeah, like Super Mario Land, I got that later on, really liked. Obviously, Wario Land was a great
Mario Land
thing.
2.
Yeah.
Donald Duck Going Quackers.
Pokemon.
Really good.
Obviously, Pokemon, that got its start there.
But then, like, people say that it's the 30th anniversary of the Game Boy, but technically it's also the 30th anniversary of Tetris.
Oh, yeah.
Of Tetris in a mainstream Western way.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I would say, like, the interesting thing about Tetris to me is, obviously the game existed without Nintendo. And obviously the game could continue to exist without Nintendo, and has continued to exist. But, and, if Nintendo didn't publish it and put it on Game Boy, someone else would have found it, and someone else would have published it. But I would say it would not have the cultural impact it had if it wasn't
for Game Boy.
Because it's bundled with it. It's like there's a story that goes that, like, in the late 80s they brought it over from the Soviet Union, showed it at CES, 6 different publishers were all vying for it, and then Nintendo kind of backdoored their way in to get it. But it defined the Game Boy as much as the Game Boy defined it in a way.
And that, like, I guess that skin is what we would call it nowadays. Like, that's iconic. Like,
oh yeah.
Like,
it's
Tetris Effect, I believe, has that skin. I believe you could unlock it.
I think
during like a weekend.
You mean Tetris 99?
No. Tetris Effect on the PS4, and it just recently got released on PC. I've been meaning to play that. But I believe there was one of the very first weekends. Like, if you played enough, you unlocked that classic skin, and I know with the green tint and everything, and I know that they also released it for Tetris 99.
Yeah, so Tetris 99, same deal.
Yeah,
if you had one weekend, you could go get it.
And like I'm sure Tetris DS also probably had that skin somewhere in there.
Yeah,
in the game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Tetris DS was great because it really married like the Nintendo history. Because Tetris is part of Nintendo history, whether or not they want to call it a Nintendo game, and it really brought that idea to the forefront.
That wasn't a Nintendo developed game, was it?
It
still
was.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, I think... I don't remember if they did it internally or through, like, intelligence systems or something like that, but it was definitely a Nintendo-owned company that put it together.
Because at some point, EA got the license for Nintendo.
Yeah. You mean for Tetris?
For Tetris.
Tetris jumped around a lot. Like, Sega at one point had it, EA had it, EA lost it, I think. Or no, EA has it for mobile, and now, like, Tetris Effect, so those guys have it. While simultaneously, there's a new Battle Royale Tetris coming out on mobile, which is basically Tetris 99 plus 1. It's Tetris 100, I think. Yeah. But they're calling that, I think, Tetris Royale, and that's going to be a separate license to a separate company. So, yeah, the Tetris people really spread the love, shall we say. But, yeah, it used to be much more like...
It's all about love. Game Boy Cement.
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah, I was going to say that, like, it just had a really good lineup. I don't know, do you guys have any, like, favorite memories with the Game Boy? Because, like, I weirdly do, but all my memories are about games I didn't have or couldn't get, which is kind of backwards. Like, you think I'd be like, oh, I love... Like, I remember playing on planes, that's fine, but I, like, distinctly remember, like, my friend showing me Pokemon Blue for the first time, be like, you gotta check this out. And he had pulled out his Game Boy, and there it was, and that was like, oh, that's the moment I'm hooked on Pokemon, but I didn't have it yet. Or, like, there was one time I went to go... This is when Game Boy Color was out. I went to go get a Mario game, and I was like, I'm gonna get Super Mario Land or Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. That sounds great. Like, I distinctly remember this. I remember exactly where I was standing in the store, what store I went to tell my mom that there's a problem with it. But basically, I went and bought it. I got it. I walk into Sam Goody at that point after I got the game at KB Toys. Like, I know every detail. It's like, where were you in JFK shop? Where were you when you mixed up Mario's? And I look at the box in the corner. It's just like, for Game Boy Color. I'm like, wait, I don't have one of those. And then my mom's like, here, let me see it. And she's like reading the back. She's like, yeah, you can't play this. I'm like, what do you mean I can't play this? And then I ended up returning it for Super Mario Land, which you can play on a regular Game Boy. And that was probably the best Mario decision I've ever made, because Mario Deluxe is just copy-paste original Mario.
But it had cards.
Yeah, but you know what Mario Land had? Bouncing fireballs and desert themes and weird level
They weren't
enemies
fireballs, they were rubber balls.
Yeah, well, whatever. I thought it was bouncing fireballs when I was like 8. But point is, ended up being a much more interesting game. So, like, all my memories weirdly are that sort of. Or, like, I went to go buy the Game Boy Color, and I wanted the Pokemon Pikachu one, special yellow edition. They didn't have it. I had to get the turquoise one, and I settled. And now I'm very happy with it. But I I don't remember, like, oh my god, I got a Game Boy Color. I remember, oh, I got the wrong color. So, like, I have these weird associations.
I was not a fan of the turquoise one.
I still do you not like it? I think
it's just
when I bought it, I was selling.
I had the purple one. I love that thing.
The somewhat
indigo.
That was the Game Boy Advance.
Just indigo or whatever they called it.
Mm-hmm. Which one did you have?
No.
Oh, you also had the indigo?
Yeah.
So I'm on man out here.
Yeah. Cause
wait, what color Joy-Cons do you have? Gray or
Wait, you had the turquoise one?
Yeah.
Wow, that's creepy, because Eric also had the turquoise one.
And we look similar.
Well, he still has
No one knows who we're talking about on this recording except us, but we have a friend that looks like me and has a lot of similarities to me, including the same Game Boy, apparently.
It's like the better version of Jason.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
That's debatable. But
nah, it's no contest, honestly.
All right. Well, besides
so can we share our memories now? Because I remember
that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Because I was a little thrown off. I'm like, wait, didn't he just ask us? But
then
he
started saying it. Yeah. But what was yours, or are yours?
Well, I don't have a photographic memory like you do, so I mean,
mine's traumatic.
I don't know. I mean, I remember like. It's like we would visit like family like by car like that lived like a little over like an hour away, and back then like growing up like those felt like 3-hour drives, even though it was really just 1 hour. Like nowadays like an hour drive is like nothing.
Yeah.
But back then it felt like an eternity, and I remember just beating like some of the going quackers like by street light and just having to be like, oh man, like all right, here comes the light. All right, I get to move like 2 feet. And then I have to stop because I can't see anymore.
Is every memory of ours actually a bad memory about the Game Boy?
Well, I mean, now it's nostalgic, but I remember because of that, I eventually got like the magnifying glass with the light and like all these like doohickeys and then like the grip, and like, it pretty much looked like the Game Boy
Switchblade, like Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, like it. I mean, it made playing games amazing. Like it was really nice seeing the screen nice and big and actually lit. But
AF.
Yeah.
I never actually bought any of those, because even back then I was like, no, it's not official. It's not Nintendo. It's the same reason I played Smash Bros. I've said this on the show before. Same reason I played Smash Bros. On Wii with the Wiimote and Nunchuck for the first year. I'm like, no, this is not how you're supposed to do it.
One of my...
I play like that. That was a fine way to play it.
It was fine, but it wasn't the best. It was.
Oh, absolutely no.
It was okay. It got the
Don't
job.
get me wrong. It was the absolute worst way of playing Brawl, but
yeah.
I think I'd rather just play with the Wiimote by itself than have to use the nunchuck. I mean, that's how I played it a lot. But,
what are your Game Boy memories, though?
are you done with your?
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say I think one of them just came back to me from. It was maybe 1 or 2 years ago, but we played Who Wants to Be a Millionaire because I have that on Game Boy Color.
I have a tweet about this.
And
I can pull it up right now.
I don't remember who I was playing with, but we actually ended up getting the million. And
it was me.
Was it you?
I have a tweet of the screenshot of us winning.
That's why you don't remember it.
Yeah, you blocked it out.
I was honestly gonna say I was pretty sure it was with Nigel, our other friend, but
I think it was. You know what? You might have challenged me to do it separately, but I was sitting in this room after a podcast recording, and I beat it. And I thought you were playing alongside me, but maybe you weren't.
I don't know.
Maybe you just challenged me, but I did beat it.
You did beat it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I have a screenshot on
Well,
Twitter.
that's good.
I will find the tweet.
Well, at least someone beat it. Well, I remember someone beating it. I mean, I guess because it's you, I guess that makes it now an okay memory, but...
It was great, now it's okay. I'll take it. It's better than bad. It's better than how you feel about the Wiimote nunchuck control scheme.
Man, I should have left it buried. All right.
Yeah, well. What about you, Ken?
You'll suppress that memory soon enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably getting my first Tetris was pretty intense when you were 4 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Your first Tetris?
Yeah.
Like the actual clearing of...
Oh, I thought you meant just getting the game, but I thought you meant actually getting a Tetris.
No, just...
Dropping those Triminos.
Yeah. Tetraminos?
I don't know how you actually pronounce it. Yeah.
I remember because my mom was over my shoulder just telling me how to play the game. I have no idea how she knew how to play Tetris. When she never liked video games, but she was like, oh yeah, put that piece in there and put... I mean, Tetris isn't that hard of a game to figure out, if you're watching the screen, so... But, yeah, she was guiding me through my first Tetris, and that was nice.
I would argue Tetris was the first Blue Ocean game that Nintendo published. It was the first game that appealed to people that weren't gamers in a really meaningful way. In a way that actually affected sales directly.
What's that game called? Candy Pop? Candy Soda?
Candy Crush?
Candy Crush?
Yeah.
Candy Pop, Candy Soda?
Well, I never played it, so...
My mom still plays that game.
Oh, wow,
she's
really?
in level 3,700 and...
How are
wow. Has she
tried?
Well,
they're randomly generated, I'm guessing? Or...
I have no idea.
Or did someone actually sit there alright, let's make number 4,529.
I don't know how that game works, but she was like, oh, look at the level I'm on. She's like 500 levels from the last time that she showed me. And I was like, can I see the level select screen? And it's just on one screen, you probably get maybe 20 levels. And I was just scrolling for minutes. I was like, this doesn't end. I think they just keep adding.
You should see if she likes Dr. Mario World. It's kind of a similar setup.
No, I think my mom's just one and done with
That's fair.
with Candy Crush Saga. Aside from that, this is another negative memory.
It's weird how they're all negative.
I remember the day that my purple Game Boy Color died. My dad plays I guess AA baseball is what you would call it.
Yeah.
And always take the Game Boy just to keep yourself entertained because you don't really appreciate the game of baseball when you're what 6, 7, 8 somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. And there was this sand pit. I remember laying the Game Boy down because I was going to go play with some friends in the sand pit.
Huh.
And then at some point I totally forgot about it. Later my mom asked me, "Oh, where's your Game Boy?" I was like, "Oh, it's in the sand pit." So I go over and I find it and just shaking a little bit, you can hear the sand in there. I don't know how any sand got on it. Because when I picked it up, there was actually no sand on it, but you could hear the sand in it.
Oh no!
And that's how my Game Boy Color died.
Happy anniversary, Game Boy!
Did you ever try to open it and see what was wrong with it?
Oh no, I wasn't savvy enough at the time to do that. I do remember playing.
You still have it?
No, but I recently found my Pokemon Gold. Oh, and when I was working at Fry's Electronics, I gave it to one of my coworkers because she repairs systems and mod systems, for fun. And I gave it to her because I didn't have a Game Boy Color. She was like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, I have a couple." And the battery was still working in the
save file was still there.
Yeah, so my save file was still there.
Wow. And
I asked her what my 6 Pokemon were, and she was like, "Oh, I don't remember." I never got around to talking to her about it again.
Yeah, Pokemon Gold and Silver in my case is one of my possibly all-time favorite Game Boy games. Like we had years ago, like 6 years ago, did a extra on the site, Flashback we called it, Volume 2 specifically, all about Game Boy. And we each picked 2 games that were favorites, and it's Pokemon Silver for me, and Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, and then I think for you it was like
2 Kirby's.
Yeah, Tilt and Tumble and
Dreamland.
But yeah, like Silver, it was like the perfect sequel. I mean, it added color, which was fine, but it was just like the time of day stuff, the expansion of the world, the fact that afterwards it's like surprise, the whole other Kanto regions in there. Like it was so good.
I remember getting that for Christmas. It was in my Santa's list.
Yeah.
And then I opened up a present. It was like, what was it? I think it was like Christmas lights. I was like, what is this? My parents like, no, open it. And like, open it, and there's gold and silver. I'm like, yeah, awesome.
That's cool.
I duped my parents into buying me 2 versions of pretty much the same game.
Now they sell them as double packs as some sort of thing that people should buy. Like the new Pokemon, the last few generations, they've been like, hey, get a double pack. We'll give you 100 Pokeballs with them. Like, but why? Who's going to actually play through both of them?
A lot of people.
Or maybe I did.
There are people.
It's way more common than you think.
It's probably the same people that don't like the Pokedex being shortchanged in Sword and Shield. I would guess. Like the diehards.
Probably.
I'm totally fine with that, but I'm also not a Pokemon diehard. The last Pokemon game that I played was Diamond and Pearl, so it's been a while since I've been. Yeah.
What were your favorite Game Boy games? I just rattled off ours.
I remember playing a lot of the first Spider-Man movie game on Game Boy. Oh, you know what? I think that was...
That's DS, isn't it?
No. My
Spider-Man?
bad. That's the Advanced SP.
Still counts.
I think the Spider-Man got packaged in with my Game Boy Advance SP. Weirdly enough, when I was maybe about 13, I somehow found a copy of Wario Land 4.
Oh, that's a good game. That's also Game Boy Advance, though.
No, that's...
Or are you thinking 3? Or 2?
I don't remember which one it was. But,
it might be 1, because 1 was holding up a Wario 3 on his hand.
It definitely wasn't 1, because it was the Wario Land where... Excuse me.
It doesn't take place in a pyramid, right?
What?
Does it take place inside a pyramid?
No. So
okay. Then it's not 4 then.
Yeah, it's not 4.
Okay, so...
I think it's 1.
The final boss was a giant clown.
Spoilers, man. Why people haven't played it in 1990?
The crap out of me.
That's definitely not 4.
I think it's...
It was definitely a Game Boy Color game.
Oh, it's 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Yeah, because the original Wario was Game Boy original.
He had no health points in the game. Oh, and like the objective of the game was you were essentially supposed to get hit to traverse the level. So there would be these blocks that could only be destroyed by being on fire. So you had to find a fire enemy, and then once you got hit by him, you would burst into flames, and then you would slowly walk over to those blocks to like destroy them.
Yes, that was and he also could become a zombie and stuff, right? Was that one?
I believe so. I don't remember.
That was 3. That was 3.
You could also do that in 3. You could also do that in 4, but that was also.
But that's on Game Boy.
Yeah.
So we could at least rule that one out. But yeah.
No, so that game was really fun. It was.
The Wario Lands are really good. I wish they would bring it back.
Challenging at some points. Yeah, Gold and Silver pretty much dominated my entire life when those games came out.
You know, I think honestly, like, we've talked about individual Game Boy anecdotes and whatnot, but like, you don't really think about the fact because, Gold and Silver, Pokemon is all because of Game. Like, Pokemon wouldn't exist without Game Boy. Like, the impact of Game Boy is so much bigger than just Game Boy. Like Pokemon, like Pikachu, like all that would not exist without Game Boy because the whole premise of how they created Pokemon was these 2 guys who made the series. Like, we want to capture the idea of what bug catching feels like, and then we want to be able to have people share, like, swap bugs with one another, like you could real bugs. So to do that, you need a link cable, and that was a Game Boy feature. And the idea of bug catching was you can go out in the world and kind of catch them as you go, which is what a handheld can provide. So if there was no Game Boy, because I don't think any other system had a link cable, we would not have Pokemon. Like, obviously, it's superseded Game Boy significantly now, but, like, it's kind of crazy to think, like, the impact of Game Boy isn't just, it's the first handheld, Nintendo sold 118 million, whatever. It actually led to literally the possibly one of the single biggest media franchises out there now.
I know it doesn't... How would I put this? Would the Nintendo DS be just as successful if it was called the Game Boy DS?
I don't honestly think it would. I think the soft...
You don't think the name, like the brand recognition of Game Boy?
Look what happened to the Wii U. It definitely would have done better if it wasn't called the Wii U.
Yeah, but that's going in the opposite
I
direction.
know, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think...
The Wii U was an anomaly. Like,
well, Nintendo's just bad at naming. I mean, they're not AT&T bad at naming things. You hear about AT&T's like 7 different TV streaming services and now
do you also follow Dieter Braun?
I retweeted him, in fact, yeah.
Jesus, that...
Yeah, it's so bad.
AT&T's
it's like
crazy.
you can have AT&T Watch, AT&T Watch Now, AT&T TV, AT&T something else. I can pull up the list. It's really bad.
Well, yeah, DirecTV Now is being...
Yeah, they're renaming it.
Yeah.
So the list is...
HBO Max, HBO Now, HBO Go.
Here we go. Ready? DirecTV. These are all services that exist today.
That are all owned by AT&T.
And all independent. Sort of. DirecTV, DirecTV Now, AT&T Watch TV, AT&T TV, AT&T TV Now, HBO Go, HBO Max, Max Go.
What's Max Go?
I don't know if he just made that one up.
What?
It doesn't say, but I'm just reading his tweet, dude. I don't know. But Nintendo's not quite that bad at naming, but they're close. But yeah, no, I think for DS, Game Boy, I don't know if their whole Blue Ocean attracting people that wouldn't normally play would work if you call it Game Boy, because they're trying to purposely sever it to be like, hey, this is a device with a touchscreen. You've never played with a touchscreen before. We can have Brain Age, but I don't know how many like moms in their 50s are gonna be like, let me play Brain Age on my Game Boy DS. Like, it kind of has that separation.
They might. That makes sense.
Yeah, they could probably tap in a little to the nostalgia of, I remember playing Tetris on my original Game Boy, but that's nowhere near as big as just being like, let me play it on this randomly called DS thing. Because even the Nintendo name was kind of buried. It was often just DS. That was the big part of the logo. But I do think we wouldn't have DS in the way we do if we didn't have Game Boy in the way we did. I don't just mean in terms of like that's how they built their handheld. I mean like...
Well, weren't that supposed to be like, oh, DS is going to be like our third pillar, not to
they
be interrupted with Game Boy?
It was damage control. Like, because they didn't know if the DS was a big gamble, so they didn't know what the outcome would be. So it's like, well, we'll keep Game Boy going. That's why they did the Micro. It's like, well, if DS fails, we can be like, look, a new Game Boy.
That's why the 3DS is still going, I guess.
Yeah, the 3DS... Well, the 3DS is weird. I don't know what they're doing at this point. They're just riding out. Like, it's selling nothing. They sold 500,000 units this past quarter. We'll get to financials later, but they sold 500,000 units.
Oh, goody.
Which is not a big number at all. They sold less than 2 million games.
Well, when everybody has one already.
Yeah. And it's just like tapering off. But they're not releasing any new games, but they're selling 2 million of something, so they're just evergreening it.
About 2 months ago, they released Persona Q2.
That's, I think, the last game.
Really? Wow.
Or one of the very last.
It's going to go down in history as the last game.
Yeah. I feel like Atlas games somehow always end up being the last game on a Nintendo handheld. Like, I'm pretty sure an Etrian Odyssey was, like, last on DS or something like that. Or maybe another Persona.
I wouldn't be surprised, if Etrian Odyssey was the last game on the original DS.
Yeah. But no, what I was getting at with, like, Game Boy and how it relates to DS is, like, I don't just mean, obviously...
Wait, Etrian Odyssey is Sega.
No, it's not. Well, Sega and Atlas are one company. But I think it's
True
Atlas.
That, but Atlas publishes by themselves too.
Yeah, no, I think it's Atlas, Etrian Odyssey. At least originally, they might have switched it to Sega when they bought them.
We'll never know.
Someone Google it and shout into your computers to us or your headphones. But no, I'll finish my point while you look that up. What I was gonna say about Game Boy versus DS, or how Game Boy led to DS, is I don't just mean obviously Nintendo, like, they made a handheld, then they made another, and then they made another. But I feel like they learned very early on with Game Boy, and this lesson is something we still see with everything Nintendo does today, that it's not about raw power. Like, for the consoles for a while, Nintendo's like, oh, we have to keep one up. It's all about the specs. It's all about the stats. So you go NES, Super NES, N64, GameCube. But if you look at the handhelds, right out the gate, you had a weird single-color green-tinted screen.
I hate it when Jason's right.
What? Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's Atlas. But yeah, you have like, that weird single color tinted screen against the Game Gear, which was full color and 16-bit, and Game Boy was 8-bit. And
we have a friend that had the Game Gear.
How was that? As a
Matthew had it. No, we couldn't play. We couldn't find any AA batteries to power the thing.
And when you plug them in, how long did it last? Like 20 minutes? Because
I think it went for like 30 to an hour, right?
Maybe.
I don't know. What was the advertised?
I think it was an hour. But the thing I was going to say is because Game Boy, maybe it had weaker specs. We know how long that thing would last? 30 hours. That was the quoted time. And I think what Nintendo realized as they did this with Game Boy and then with Game Boy Color, where they barely did an upgrade, they're just like, we'll make it color. And then eventually with DS and Wii.
Do you remember the Color Game Boy?
Versus the Game Boy Color?
Yeah.
What?
So people were clamoring for a Game Boy in color. And then Nintendo was like, no, yeah, we'll give you a Game Boy in color, and it was literally called the Color Game Boy, which was just a Game Boy in different colors.
Yeah, it was part of the Pockets.
Was it?
Yeah,
really?
It's part in the U.S. They marketed it as the Pocket line, but because they came out with the silver pocket, then they did like the colors.
Oh, I thought the pocket and the color were.
I think they're one and the same. I might be wrong,
Zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket.
Sure, but the thing I was getting at with the Game Boy DS thing, I just want to finish that thought real quick, is they realized power doesn't matter for what they want to do. It's about the experience.
Well, yeah, just look at DS and PSP.
Exactly. But the roots of
or
that,
Vita and 3DS.
But the roots of or like the Switch
that
versus
was a nice console though.
Yeah.
If they had brought over the orange one from Japan, I would have definitely bought on it.
But even like today, Switch versus PS4 versus Xbox One, like always this whole mentality Nintendo first figured out and first sort of honed in on with the Game Boy, because they had Game Gear, they had Atari Lynx, they had to go up against, and then they slaughtered them with a weaker system that theoretically, like, you would think it would make sense to hold your controls on the left and right of the screen and look in the middle, but Nintendo's like, no, try holding the other. They basically were like, here's what you'll be doing with smartphones in 20 years, but today. But yeah, so like they honed in on the experience, the 30-hour battery, all that is what actually matters to people, and now that's their philosophy for everything. So it's kind of interesting that Game Boy sort of paved the way for that, when their consoles, meanwhile, were in like arms races for 4 generations. So yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at with that. But yeah, I think there's a Game Boy. We might have kind of hit everything, but it is interesting that we kind of grew up alongside it. Like, it's true of any. Obviously, we grew up alongside all the game stuff, but like, it's the exact same age as two of us at this table, one in a month. Don't try and shortchange it as if you're not.
I'm not though.
It's 6 weeks.
Actually, I'm not.
6 weeks. 6 weeks. You're staring at me. He's just staring at me. But anyway, yeah, and I just thought it was kind of interesting. Like, gaming's gone through a lot as it's evolved in these last 30 years. Have how we approach games or how we game, is that different for you guys now? Like what is gaming to you as an adult now versus what gaming was to you as a kid?
Well, now you need an online connection to play games.
That's true. Even
for single player games.
Yeah. But like, have you noticed like your habits with gaming are very different or anything like that? Because I noticed with me it's pretty different.
I mean, now I feel bad for playing a lot versus back then I wouldn't.
I think that's part of it.
Yeah, that's part of it too.
I think for me, like, I think I just have less patience. Like, it's not just a time thing, but it's like I was saying earlier, when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll just play the same level forever. I'm fine. And now it's like, no, I need to make progress or it's not worth it.
Well, yeah,
like,
before...
Wait, you were concerned about making progress?
I don't mean real progress. I just mean I can't play the same level on loop.
Well, before... I never had any... Like, I never knew if a game was bad when I was younger.
Yeah, that too. Like, all the games we were talking about were
that's
bad.
True.
Except Pokemon.
All of a sudden I thought Sonic R was like that by design, so we just like, oh, okay, we just got to get good, and we eventually like figured out the game, and then later on we're like, oh, the game was just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
Games were bad back then.
I think
you were
that's what
young.
helped us play a lot and just get good in video games in general, just like playing a bunch of quote-unquote terrible games and just getting used to the controls, I guess. I don't know.
Right. I do think...
Wait, sorry.
What did you say?
No, just yeah, like... You never knew that games were bad back then. Like, you would play the same first level. Not necessarily that game was bad by
yeah, but I
means,
wouldn't know there's better.
But yeah, you wouldn't know if there was any better.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like, you'll know if a game is bad within the first couple of hours.
I feel like even kids find out really early because they'll see streamers do it or they'll see reviews or whatever. And like the whole, like,
well, now there's
kids
like
just play whatever random thing and then they're happy, I feel like is a little...
Well, I mean, now there's a whole culture about like, oh, let's play these bad games because we have the internet. Like, before that wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
I actually picked... Wow, this is kind of a bad memory, but... Well, it's not a bad memory, because I picked Monopoly...
The Nintendo Sadcast.
Bad memories in love.
No, I remember, like... I remember I had a birthday, and I went to Toys R Us back when that was a thing, and I was able to pick two Super Nintendo games, and I remember seeing, like, there was Super Metroid and a bunch of other games, but I picked Monopoly and the Tasmanian Devil
Dude,
game.
I've done the same thing.
Over Super Metroid?
Yeah, I never owned Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo. I eventually got it on the Wii and other consoles, but I did love that Taz game, though.
I relate to that even worse. My mom, I was at Walmart with her. There was a bin of games, and she's like, go ahead and grab a couple if you want. And I don't remember what was in it, but they were like real games, like actual Nintendo-made games. And then I saw Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune for N64. Separate games.
What's with you guys with game show games?
No, but this one
Who wants to be a millionaire?
This one,
Jeopardy.
I'm defending this one. Hang on. No, I'm defending this one because I'm like, oh, that'd be fun to play with my dad. He likes game shows. So I got it. But then I'm thinking back, like, okay, this was around, like, I don't know, 1998 or 9. Think of all the other... Actually, N64 didn't have that many games. But think of all the other potential games I could have gotten. I never bought Mario Kart 64 until, like, the tail end of the N64's life. That could have been a great
You're not missing much with Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, I loved it as a kid. Up to your point, your kids don't know anything. But, yeah, it's just like, I get that you just pick things you recognize. And I feel like there's less of that now because there's fewer licensed games.
Property.
Right?
Yeah, I had a lot of licensed games. I mean, I had Lion King, and I also had Toy Story. That was a really fun game.
All the licensed games are now just free apps on your phone to play.
I love the Aladdin game on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, Aladdin on Super Nintendo was
really hard.
Yeah, that one was actually... Yeah, the Capcom Super Nintendo Disney games, or Genesis, pick your poison, were good. Surprisingly.
Yeah.
But... I feel like, you know what the thing that really kind of bothers me about like growing up with gaming is, and I think it's just because the passage of time changes as you get older. I feel like every major release is less of an event than it was when I was a kid. Like the impact that Wind Waker had on me, that Sunshine had on me, and the
Smash
build up
for
to
Wii U
it.
felt like a pretty big
I was
event.
about to say there are exceptions. I think Smash for Wii U is one. I think Odyssey, or not Wii U, Smash for Ultimate is one. For me, Odyssey was one.
I mean,
Breath of the Wild was one.
Breath of the Wild was a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah, but I feel
Ultimate
like
definitely didn't feel as great just because like the first one, well, you had like the amiibo, so it was like you got like to open like
That's true.
12 amiibo boxes,
Yeah.
and that this
It's
one
like
was kind of
Christmas.
like, if I'm gonna go for Madden, like, all right, just get it here already. We already played it. We already know what it's like.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think like there's fewer of those. Like whenever they announce a new Mario Kart, like even Mario Kart 8, I was like, oh right, another one. Like I like it a lot. Like I was super excited to play it when I got it, but it wasn't the same. Like it changed my life in the way that I feel like the countdown and playing
the
Mario
announcement
Sunshine
changed your
did.
liff.
No, but like I don't. No, not the announcement, just having it. But like I don't know. Like it's. I think because we have
I used
now
to be a
lived
jerk and a
through-
bully, and then they announced a new Zelda.
And then I was like, I'm a changed man. No, but I think, honestly, like, I think the fact that we've now lived through so many of these things, it just kind of is starting to, it loses a little bit shine, I don't know, or a little bit luster. I can't describe it much better. But
Sounds
like,
like you need a break from gaming for like maybe
well,
a decade, and then just come back to it.
No, because I
and-
think there's still, I'd still be like, oh, I've played a bunch of Mario Karts. Doesn't mean they're not good. Doesn't mean I'm not excited.
No, that's
I'm just
yeah,
saying it
but
didn't have
just
to,
like create that distance. Like if you go a long time without eating, you guess your favorite food, then you have it again. Actually, I don't know if that would make you really love it, or it might make you go like, "Oh God, I can't eat this anymore." Like,
that's how it is with a lot of people that quit soda. Is they're like, oh,
yeah,
why'd
I hear that a lot
drink
with
that?
soda,
Yeah.
and some cases, some burgers, not all burgers.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, like I wouldn't want that. But I'm just thinking like,
it's like, oh God, why did I ever game to begin with?
or like even like, or like even like when Mario Super Circuit came out on Game Boy Advance. At the time, I was super excited. Oh, a new Mario Kart! And now I'm looking back, like I would not bat an eye at that. If it was Mario Kart 8, maybe. But if it was that,
I didn't
like,
bat an eye
whatever.
at that game when it came out.
I was super into it.
I-
Super into it.
I really hated all those games. Like, I guess it was just that and F-Zero that had that weird thing where it looked like I was turning the whole world instead of the cart.
except
So
yeah,
the original Mario Kart on
Mario-
Super Nintendo
Super
did
Mario
that
Kart.
to me to the point of giving me a headache.
Well, that game too. I never had.
Never
it
had
on.
that with F-Zero. Never had that with the Game Boy Advance one.
Well, I mean, it never made me dizzy. I just hated how it looked.
Yeah. I actually have a memory, a positive memory, look, they exist, of we were going to Glacier National Park when I still lived in Montana, and I was playing Super Circuit in the back seat, so I was like 12, and somehow, just by chance, the turning in the game synced up with the turning on the road for like 3 turns. I was like, oh my god, it's like exactly what I'm doing.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
It's
First
a
time-
very minor thing, but
First time I went to
it's
Yosemite, Elvis and I spent the majority of it playing Frogger's Adventure on Game Boy instead of experiencing Yosemite.
Yeah, that happened. Well, times I went to Hawaii when I was a kid. Pokemon Ruby came out the day before, so I bought it, played it on the plane, played it in Hawaii the entire first day, and then my parents were like, "You know, you're in Hawaii, right?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah," and I just put it away for the rest of the trip.
Oh, I can't wait. Our Austin trip.
Oh,
Like,
Austin.
Link's
Switch?
Awakening comes out
Oh, it
on
does.
the same day.
It does, as the day we fly out.
Wait, but you're getting a physical, so I don't know how you're gonna.
There's a Best Buy right next to my office, which is also right next to the airport.
Ah.
So I'm good. I literally work across. I share a parking lot with Square Enix, which is right across from LAX. So I'm good.
I can't wait for that.
Square Enix has no bearing on this, except I wanted to brag to listeners I work next to Square Enix. But yeah, so I guess that's pretty much the Game Boy section. That was actually we talked a lot more than I thought we did about. I thought we would about Game Boy. But I guess jump to modern times. We're already talking about modern games.
Modern Times is a good brewery.
Yeah, let's all go. Let's all go. It's a brewery. I believe it's. Oh, I'm thinking medieval times. I was about to say it's
Modern,
also a
Modern
show.
Times did the brewery.
Yeah,
It
Modern
is a
Times,
brewery, yeah. But then it's about to launch into medieval times. But yeah, we worked our way up to the modern era. So let's just talk about the
I
current.
guess they do have beer at medieval times.
They do.
Just the-
Mead as well, I would assume.
Never been to medieval.
I've never read it. We should go.
Me
sometime.
neither.
No, I do not. I do not want to go to medieval
I think
times.
that's the place you
Podcast
take
trip.
your.
Podcast field trip. We'll
I think that's
record.
where you take your parents or your.
We'll
grandparents.
record an episode there with the.
That's
with
where
the
you
jousting
take your
over our
family.
shoulder.
That's like
Yeah.
it's like
They don't know what to do.
just
with.
give them a little bit of Vegas without having to do that 4-hour drive.
And a giant turkey leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I was going to say the big current Nintendo event that's going on, like Game Boy's the past, the present is the Smash Bros. DLC. On Tuesday, Nintendo revealed the first actual concrete details on how Dragon Quest Hero will play, and then later that same day they actually released him. So, and all 4 of him, I should say.
What was the... How much time was there in between Joker and Hero?
Joker came out in April, around the 17th or 18th, and I looked this up because I was checking some stuff, and Hero came out July 31st.
Okay, so about 4 months.
Whoa.
So Banjo's going to be October, is my guess.
Yikes.
Yeah. What do you mean, yikes? They're doing it about once a quarter.
Yikes.
Sure, okay. You're very internet right now. Yikes is the internet's favorite word these days. I feel like that's a big yikes. But, yeah, you know, actually kind of...
Well, considering, like, these two characters are characters I can't say...
Don't tell me you're not excited for Banjo.
No, I meant Joker and Hero. I was going to
Yeah.
call them 11, but I guess one of them is 11.
11, 8, 1, and...
Weird name.
But 2 of them have Japanese names, and 2 of them are just numbers.
One of them
according
is
to the
Stranger
posting.
Things girl.
Yeah, one with Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah.
What?
Millie Bobby
She
Brown.
has an
That's-
actual name?
The girl in Godzilla.
Oh, her.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
how he knows, of course, Godzilla. Have to make it relatable.
Billy Bobby Brown?
Millie
Oh.
Bobby Brown.
Well, anyway, since I guess Banjo will be the first character I'm actually anticipating, but I will say though, like,
Shots fired at you.
no,
Kevin, the
well,
Persona
but
fan.
no, I'm just saying they're terrible. I'm just saying, like, I mean, you know what you're excited about.
Yeah.
But I will say in both cases, I was pleasantly surprised with how fun the characters are to use.
Can I just say that I'm really impressed that they made, with 70 plus characters, like to your point about they're really fun, they have 70 plus characters in Smash Bros. Somehow they made a whole new type of fighter for Hero. After 70 different characters.
Yeah, the
like,
Mario Party fighter.
Yeah, he's like the random chance man. He's
I haven't
literally
seen
an
how he
RPG.
plays, so...
Oh, he's literally... So to explain it to you or to anyone who doesn't know yet, and actually if you want to finish your thought, I didn't mean to cut you off. Or do you want to explain how he
Well, I was
works?
gonna say, like, I guess besides that, and so far, like, both DLC characters have been, well, Joker. I mean, Joker. I mean, Hero's only been out for a few days, so it's yet to be seen. But it feels like we're gonna see him
a lot.
ton, just like
He's
Joker.
already all over on
Because Joker, like, his frame data, everything is just like really, really good about him. He's like undebatably the best character right now.
Hey!
Which is
I love Persona.
It's crazy. He's just so good, and then with Arson, it just makes it even nuts. But then we have Joker. I mean, I keep calling him Joker, but then we have Hero, who has like these special moves that, and I'm completely ignoring the down B. Like Jason could explain the down B.
I love
but,
I love parts of it.
Well, the down B is like the most fun part about him. But like his neutral B, like is this powerful fireball that deals like almost 40 damage that could kill you at like 40. And then his side B is like this crazy thunder thing that also kills you like at 40. Pretty much all his like B moves can kill you like ridiculously early, and they're really hard to react to because he also has this crazy down B that's just like a roulette wheel.
And they all have really fun, silly names like a Zap and a Frizz and a Kazap and a Kufrizz and like I guess it's from Dragon Quest.
Those are all
that's how they're the attacks in Dragon Quest. But so the roulette wheel thing, basically how it works is if you hit down B, you get an actual RPG move menu complete with MP points that vary per thing. And then you can pick which one you want to do, and then he does it. And these vary from, like, stat enhancers to, like, straight-up shielding and reflectors to one of them he actually self-destructs like a Voltorb would. And you don't know which you're going to get. There's, like, probably a dozen.
I think there's like 21.
Something like that. He has more moves than any character in Smash Bros. History. And you get 4 at a time, and they're randomly inserted there and kind of shuffled around.
Yeah, so the one you don't want isn't there. You can just tap shield and then press down B again, and you can quickly shuffle through them.
Yeah.
But,
Which is actually my one complaint right now.
Really?
Is that not that you shuffle through them, but I really wish they put the menu somewhere that's not in the like I don't know where they would put it, but basically the thing I'm noticing is when I try and play as him, and I'm still getting used to him, so maybe that's why. But I'm constantly like, oh, let me look at the menu, and then like reading the menu because they're not.
I know, yeah.
It's not like there's assigned slots for certain moves; they all shuffle. So you actually have to read the whole menu every time and decide what you want to do.
Oh, what was that again? Oh, which one's boom, kaboom?
Yeah, and not only that, but like even once you figure them out, you still have to actually look through. You can't muscle memory it. You have to actually look through it.
The only thing you could do is just
random.
like think of one that you might want to have at that moment, and if you see it there, you just go to it, and if you don't see it there, you just like don't pick anything. Or you could do what the majority of people are doing online. And this part kind of sucks because like when I'm not playing as Bowser, like there's some other characters I play as a lot, but I'm definitely not as comfortable using them like in tournament as Bowser. But when I'm playing as those like Ridley, I don't have the best way to approach characters, so every once in a while, like when I'm approaching a hero, and I could tell, and you could tell like when they're not even like reading their menu, they just like down B like crazy. And then all of a sudden, like
That's
my character just dies because they have like a move that straight up just kills you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, like half the moves and they're just straight up kill you. They have like this move called Magic Bird, which just straight up kills you. Kamikaze just straight up kills you.
Yeah.
Hatchet Man just straight up kills you. Like so many things that straight up kill you, like ridiculously small percentages, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it feels like
you got cheated. Yeah.
And I think also the other downside, like again, he's really fun to play as, but I think the other downside is like because you basically have two choices: either you do it that way, or you take the time to actually go through the menu, and that time is valuable when you're in Smash Bros. So you're kind of like, do you only use a down B when you know you're far away from people? That doesn't necessarily make sense. So you kind of have to balance that. And I think part of the issue is...
But people are getting good right now. Like they'll just throw you off stage, and then when you're like recovering, that's usually when they use the menu.
Yeah, but it's kind of
when they throw you off stage really high up. Like I see people like flipping through the menu, and then like, oh, I'm gonna try to jump at them, but then they pick zoom, and all of a sudden they recover from literally anywhere on stage and land safely back.
Which, like, sure, but I don't know. I just feel like in a fighting game, like muscle memory is so key, or like some sort of visual indicator that's on him, because it's not only like you have to read it; it's all the way down at the bottom of the screen in the damage area, which makes sense. Where would they put it otherwise?
I feel like
think about like how Shulk works. Like he changes color. So you kind of know what to do
based
based
on
his color.
Well, they're also always in the same direction.
Like I
know that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they should do it Shulk.
People don't even like look at what they're picking with Shulk. It's just either top left or top right or whatever. It's always in the same spot.
Right, muscle memory. Like imagine.
But for him, I feel because a lot of those moves are kind of stupid, like broken. It has to be inconvenient to use.
Yeah, no, that's how they self-balance it. Is they make it the randomization, the fact that you actually have to pause to figure out what you're doing, like all that's to try and counterbalance the fact that
because even if you ignore that, like his normal special moves are ridiculously strong, and he has a freaking critical hit thing going on. Like if any smash attack has a chance of landing a crit, which just means it just deals way more knockback, and like I think Obus was like 10 or like the 10% or something, and I just like hit him with a smash attack near the edge, and it killed him because I just got a critical hit, and that was it. It's like, just got lucky.
Right. I do think, to be fair to Sakurai and his idea of putting a whole RPG inside a character, I do really like that. It's really there's fun. So many like, moves. It's such a unique spin on anything they've done in Smash. It's a really cool nod to Dragon Quest, because Dragon Quest is like the first RPG, really, if you think about it. So this is like a really cool.
And this is a really good addition to what we usually always end up doing when we just play Smash Bros for fun.
Yeah.
We eventually just do like, all right, Game and Watches only, and you can only like use the hammer or whatever.
And
like Hero is another, it's just fun.
Yeah, and I assume as time goes on and people, get more of a hang of his menu, it'll be easier. But like it just when I was first playing, I'm like, imagine if like Ryu's Hadouken when you're playing like Street Fighter is just like, well, now it's this button combo. Okay, now it's the same button combo, but you have to hit 2 more things real quick. Okay, now, like that's kind of what it's like when you're trying to learn him, Hero. Because, you want your one move, but you have to like keep cycling for it.
Oh, that's kind of how Ryu is. I mean, he has this whole thing where if you tap A, it's one move, and if you hold A, it's another move. And then you also have if you smash it.
But they're consistent.
No, I know,
Imagine if they rotated all those every time you did it, and you didn't know which one it was till you tried. That's kind of what learning Hero is like. Like, you can't just muscle memory it. You have to actually, like,
yeah, but I mean, those moves aren't meant to be, like, comboed into or anything.
Yeah,
just,
I know.
Yeah.
There's a good timing on it. Evo's this weekend.
Yeah.
Evo is currently going on.
It's going on right now. Yeah.
But Joker is not. I mean, oh my god, I keep saying Joker, but Hero is not playable in it, which is good.
Yeah, because it's too quick of a turnaround, I think.
Yeah.
It came out Tuesday.
I could have sworn that I heard somewhere that he was going to be alive.
Oh, really?
Because they're playing with version 3.1.0.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so because 4.0 is the new one. But we were talking about like the menus being a nice reference to Dragon Quest.
Which means Ivysaur is still overpowered.
It also means Toon Link's down A doesn't automatically snap down
Or
immediately.
Bowser.
Yeah. But references. We were talking about the menu thing. I really like a lot of things they did in Challenger Pack 2 that tie into Dragon Quest. Like, I'm talking big and small. Like, obviously the inclusion of 4 different heroes is cool for fans with their different names and numbers and Millie Bobby Brown. They each have their own music. That's a nice touch. But there's always, like, tiny, minute things they did, too. Like, I don't know if you've tried the classic mode with him yet. But all but one of the battles in the classic mode for Hero are HP damage instead of percentage damage. Which is kind of a cool little nod. It's a subtle thing. Like, it doesn't really change anything, but it's just like, oh, because RPGs. I get it. Like, that's kind of cool. Or, like the Mii costumes. Like, I really like the slime hat. Nintendo finally did jiggle physics. They just did it for a slime hat instead of, other things. So, like, yeah, I just thought it was really kind of cool. And the attention to detail on the stage is kind of nice. The slime's bouncing around and stuff. However, I will say, man, I don't know how you feel about the stage, Angel, and I don't even know if you've seen it yet, Kevin, but I feel like the stage itself, Yggdrasil's Altar, however you say that name, it's a little ho-hum. Like, it's just another one of the, like, you do a tour of the landscape while you're on a floating platform. Like, compared to, like, Joker's stage was cool. Like, it had the unique look. It had, like, the music in time with the flashing on the stage. Like, there are all sorts of little things that made it feel, like, more unique. And this one's just, like, it could be Hyrule, honestly.
Well, this isn't a slight to...
Well, that's just, like, saying, like, I don't play Dragon Quest, so I can't appreciate it.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, they did stuff that they haven't done with the stage before for Persona, but for Dragon Quest they did the let's just fly over some landmarks that they do for Hyrule, that they do for Delphino, that they do
platform combinations.
Yes, I think the coolest thing it does, to its credit, is they have items that come in from the side, and those items can be actual items. It's like a treasure chest, or it could be a trap, and it attacks you, which is those are kind of cool, like little things like that. But just the whole, like, we're flying through generic, generic
Persona's
landscapes
definitely a lot more unique.
That's what I was going to say. This isn't a slight to Dragon Quest, but I mean, those stages were built on the backing of Persona 5, which is probably one of, if not the most stylish game that's out.
That's true.
Of all time.
Like ever,
yeah, it's so stylish. Yeah.
So it makes sense why the battlefield for Persona would be so slick, so dynamic. While
just the fact that when you run around, you have like little purple droplets for some reason.
Yeah, I might be being too hard on Dragon Quest. I was just like, they could have done more than just fly through.
I mean, that being said,
if a Dragon Quest fan saw it, they'd be like, "Oh my god, all those landmarks," and that's cool. But I feel like it'd be cool if you're somehow engaged with those and just flying over them.
It's weird because, like, since I had no expectations for Dragon Quest, when I saw the stage, I'm like, "Wow, this is a really pretty stage," and I just like the stage a lot.
It looks very nice. Yeah,
like I liked everything about, like, I never once thought like, "Oh, is this another flyby stage?"
Yeah.
But whenever it's like a stage one, like the Mario one in New Donk City, like that one, when I thought like, oh, it's a flyby stage, I was disappointed that was a flyby stage.
But to its credit, I mean, I get what you're saying completely. New Donk, you get to build a band every time you play. That's a nice little touch.
Yeah, the first time.
Well, I love that song, so I'll always build a band and never grow tired of it. But I get your point. Yes, totally. Yeah, I guess the only other thing about Hero that's worth mentioning is Nintendo. I kind of liked how they did the rollout for him. Like,
did.
I mean, first they did it the same day.
You like how they announce a character a long time ago and then just go radio silent and then just don't tell us anything until the day.
Well, they did that with Joker too. But
I know, yeah.
The difference they did here that I like more is Joker. So they announced it, they go radio silent. Then the day before he comes out, they're like, "Okay, guys, here's what you need to know about Joker." And they're like, "Now wait again." This time they're like, "Okay, just wait till you get home." It was only like a day.
Like a day, yeah.
It was like a day or two, but this one was like 8 hours. So this one's just like, okay, you wake up, you learn about him, you go to work or school, you come home, he's ready to
Do you like the radio silence or just not knowing when it's going to come out?
I appreciate the radio silence because it lets you have something to look forward to.
You can still look forward to something.
No, but I like knowing that Banjo's coming. I mean, it'd be crazy if they're like, he's here right now, but...
Oh, no, I mean, like take literally any other fighting game, for that matter.
Like when Street Fighter got leaked
not even with the leaks. Like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter 5. Yeah. Like either of them. Whenever they had here's a character pack. Like when they announced the character pack, they straight up tell you the date.
Oh, that's what you mean.
And you know, like,
you mean radio silence on date.
And then you know, like, when everything's coming out. Like as soon as they announced, like, whenever that Street Fighter 5 trailer leaked, right at the trailer it said like these characters are available this day.
Yeah, I mean Nintendo's not giving hard dates.
I mean, by now, like, I know it's normal for Nintendo. It's just kind of annoying when they're like, "Oh, it's going to come out in the fall." So now, I'm like, okay, so pretty much the last day that they could consider it fall.
To be fair, summer doesn't end for another month. Like Nintendo did not do that with Hero. They said summer, and he was out smack in the middle. To be fair to them, one time. Usually they do that.
Yeah.
But,
well, okay, so I know the time in between Joker's announcement was about, 4 months?
4 months.
Because he was announced at the Game Awards in December.
Jeez.
And Hero got announced at E3 2 months ago?
He was announced at E3 2 months ago, so they're speeding it up.
So.
Yeah, that's definitely the shortest.
Yeah, but now
we probably have the longest gap.
Oh, for Banjo, because we literally...
you win some, you lose some. But I do...
Necessary evil, I guess.
Yeah, basically. I mean, come on, that Banjo moment was so cool. Like,
so when are they gonna... So with that lock, does that mean we're not gonna hear about the next character until after Banjo's out? Or do you think we're gonna know what the next character is gonna be?
Well, what's the next big event?
I guess Tokyo Game Show?
No, they don't do anything there.
I guess the Game Awards again?
Gamescom is in Europe in 2 weeks. Evo's right now.
That's too early. Yeah, that's too early for...
My guess is probably the Game Awards or just a random Nintendo Direct. Sometimes when they need a big...
Well, since they announced something at the Game Awards, I feel like now we're gonna get like all the people are gonna be really mad or disappointed.
Oh, like when everyone thought
they
Metroid Prime
don't.
4 would be there and then they don't. It wasn't.
Yeah, that's like what the
yeah.
heck?
Well, because I think part of it is part of it is they use it as a stinger when they need something big in their directs. So it could be literally any time they do a direct between now and the end of the year or the Game Awards, or maybe not.
I guess they do have random directs sometimes.
Yeah.
They always have one. They have one in September.
They usually have one in September. We're probably gonna get one in September. That's gonna outline some more details on like Luigi and maybe Zelda. Probably time it right before Zelda and do some Zelda info, but we'll see. But yeah, I do. Besides the timing thing, I did like how like sort of casual the presentation was. Like so Sakurai is just like, yeah, this is really low budget. We're just gonna do it like a live stream, and then proceed to immediately have all the usual graphics and fancy little like animations that they normally have. But I did like that he was just like talking. He wasn't very scripted, so he was giving us insights that like really don't matter. But we're kind of like, oh, this voice actor was really excited. This voice actor was the fastest at recording his part. Like weird little things that really no one needs to know, but it kind of made it feel more personal in a way. And then he went into about as much detail as the Smash Bros. Ultimate unveiling at E3 was, which was way too long. Yeah, but because he's just chatting with you and it's only about Smash Bros, it felt not as bad at all. It didn't feel as like overbearing. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, because you just tune out. It doesn't matter. You know what you need to know. So I thought that was kind of nice. But the presentation actually went on to cover more than just Hero. It also had Smash Bros 4.0 update, which has stuff. I mean, some of it's not worth bringing up. There's a like very easy mode, adventure mode, time limits on this final Smash meter if you turn it on that are really long and basically aren't there.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting mechanic, but it's long. Like you have a while.
Yeah, 20 seconds is a long time.
Yeah.
But then you're either gonna die or you would have used it almost immediately.
So it's almost as if
because depending on what character you pick, it's like it's pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the one that I was excited.
If it was
about,
10 seconds.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Because that's already what the limit is. Because before, like in Smash 4, Cloud and Little Mac, when they reach their KO meter, their limit, they could hang on to it forever. But now they only have 15 seconds. So
yeah, but yeah, the thing I thought was kind of cool are two modes that came back from Smash 4: the spectating with betting. So if you actually want to watch stuff, you can get coins out of it, and online tournaments, which is pretty much copy pasted out of Smash 4, I think. But
just a little worse.
It's worse. Well,
Yeah.
Okay. Why is it worse?
So in Smash 4, you had, even though the tournament was still terrible because you only play, they're all 2 stock and 2 minutes, like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. That's like not enough time to have like an actual game. Pretty much, it's enough time to kill like maybe 1 stock, and then whoever gets that first stock is just gonna run away the whole time, and that's just no fun. When you're playing one-on-ones. I mean,
because I'm like, that was not what my experience was like.
well, you were playing free-for-all, so
Yep.
that's even worse. It's like almost just like rolling a die to see if you win. Because
I wouldn't go that, way belittle my first place victory.
Oh, I'll belittle the heck out of it. And it probably had items too, which is...
They did.
Yeah, so make it a D20 at that point. Anyway, yeah, so at least in Smash 4, you got to pick between whether you want to do 1v1s, free-for-alls, or whatever. Like, they were all available. You just pick whichever one was available, and if there's slots open, you participate. This one, you only get whatever's available. So they're like, for the next 2 days, we're just doing free-for-alls. And then you wait, and then next day, it's like, all right, cool, now we're doing 1v1s. And now that time has passed, so I guess I'm back to not playing tourneys, so... Yeah.
Wow, I got real sad. You could hear the disappointment like in his voice.
I mean, even though like I hated I wish they would at least give us 3 minutes, not 2.5.
Well, yeah. So
like, give us a minute and a half for each stock at least. But yeah, because I did play a few people like that would literally just run away the entire time, get the one
dumb.
hit.
Yeah.
Because that's the best way to play with given that scenario. If you give them like 6 minutes, you're never really gonna get to the 6 minutes. So
yeah, I feel like for me, I found it really enjoyable because like. Well, first of all, I'm the type of player, you guys know this, but I'm the type of player whose strategy is not having one. Like, I'll just... I'll do things pro players...
You're just playing, so...
I'll do things that
and
pro players like, that shouldn't work, and I'll somehow pull it off. Or, like, I'm so non-traditional, I'm 4-player matches, I'm just running around causing chaos. I'm like a crazy hurricane of Toon Link or Kirby or whoever. And, having items on top of that, having stages with hazards, that all works in my favor.
Honestly,
and adds to the chaos. So I really like tournament mode.
I feel the mode is almost like perfect for people like you because also the fact it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds means it's not going to take up a lot of your time. That means at most you're maybe going to spend 15 minutes total.
Correct.
In the tournament.
And the other thing I like about it is
for me, it's like I just rather it be. I don't care if it takes 30 minutes or an hour.
So if they could offer both, almost like a 4 glory.
Yeah, I mean that's like they could literally have both.
Because the other thing
people know what they're getting into if they see the time limit. So,
yeah, no, that's fair. The other thing I like about it that also plays...
It could still be that way, too. They're rotating them out, so maybe they will have a 7-minute, 3-stock one.
I'm just saying, that screen where they have the one tournament in the middle has a lot of empty space on the left and right. They can easily fit multiple tiles for multiple tournaments.
The poor servers.
But, I was going to say, the other thing I like about the online tournaments is it gives... I feel like more than... Because you play 1v1, you're like, oh, I'm super competitive about this, and I'm really into this. But for me, I feel like the narrative that the tournament creates is what kind of keeps me going, because there's like a broader goal to achieve than just I'm beating this one guy. It's like, oh, if I beat him and I beat the other guy and I beat the other guy, I'm like a champion. Like, that's cool. Like, there's more. It sounds really like dumb, but you know what I mean? Like, there's a bit more structure or narrative, or there's more to achieve than just
I know what you mean. Like, as much as I bag on the time, like, I still played a lot of 1v1 tournaments, especially like other characters.
Yeah.
Like, Elvis even asked me, like, why do you play them if, like, you said the time sucks? And I'm like, well, I don't know. It's also fun just like getting those people like back to back to back, seeing how many you're beating. And probably, I guess my biggest plus is that I could play these other characters without hurting my GSP. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
which should have been.
Speaking of,
they need to change that. But
speaking of like, changing things that they're not, or maybe that they are. Are there any weird nips and tucks or buffs or anything they've done to any characters that are like really causing problems for you as a competitive player or a more competitive player?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like I guess like nothing that any of you guys would care about. But before, Ivysaur was just really annoying because they could spam their side B with no repercussions, and they pretty much took that away. They made Ivysaur a lot worse, but they made Charizard a lot better, so they did that. They fixed Ridley's recovery. Now it doesn't take him 2 hours to like like when you recover with Fox, he like stays in place and then he goes.
Yeah.
Ridley had that, but it was a lot worse. But now it's just a lot more usable. He's just a better character now, and that's pretty much it. No one else really got touched. There were just a lot of buffs, which is always great. I always love seeing characters get buffed. Like if a character is really annoying, it's like fine, that's just how he is. Just make everyone else equally as annoying. Just bring everyone up, because then there's no fun if characters are just getting like nerfed all the time.
Yeah.
Like I know that was like an issue with Street Fighter, where it's just like all these people that put a lot of time into their character, and all of a sudden their characters were just basically unplayable, and then they never really made other characters better, so people just started playing that game less and less because they just weren't having fun with their characters. So yeah, and so far Smash has been doing that, just buffing everything and just nerfing what people are really complaining about, which is usually misdirected. Like people were complaining about King K. Rool always holding a suction gun out forever, and that got wrecked, and even though it wasn't really like that ever.
Actually problematic.
Yeah, it was just like an online thing. Like people were complaining about Little Mac being too OP, and I mean he got nerfed even though he didn't really deserve it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure now Hero's gonna get nerfed because people have been literally petitioning to get him banned from tournament.
The internet is petitions.
And there's a lot of pro players that are saying he should be banned. There's a lot of other people that are saying they're dumb for thinking that. Like
this reminds me of Bayonetta. Wasn't Bayonetta really controversial among pro players when she first came?
She still is.
I feel like they nerfed her a lot.
Yeah, not as much. She's still really good, but in Smash 4, she was like the Meta Knight, like because Meta Knight was straight up banned in a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, back in the
and
days,
Bayonetta. Right? Yeah, Smash 4 was ridiculous, and she got nerfed, but was still really good.
Yeah.
Joker is crazy, because he's really... People are like, no, he's like really, really good character, but no one's ever really complained about him as like, oh, nerf him, like, I hate him. I think it's just because he feels fair. It's like, if you lose to him, it's like, you need to be really good to be good with Joker, too.
Right.
Like, I know Sheikah's a really good character, but when I try to play as Sheikah, I feel like I'm playing with molasses or something. Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just pick Joker and win automatically.
Yeah.
So... And with Hero, you kind of can, because it's a roulette wheel. So, so Spirit Board. I'm skipping next on the docket.
Wait, Spirit Board? Or are we...
Free Smash
yeah. No, I was
going
to bring that up. Okay, yes. So, about that, there was one other little thing tucked into this update that's kind of interesting to me. It's very minor. It really doesn't matter. But if you have a Switch Online subscription, you get a free download of what they're calling the Spirit Board Challenge Pack, as you just so generously spoiled on the... Anyway, so it comes with, it basically gets you chances at Bear Spirit. So you get like a 1500 SP to spend, you get 10 Shuffle Alls, 10 All Primaries, 10 All Support, for redrawing the Spirit Board. But on principle, I find it really interesting because Nintendo keeps slowly adding little Switch Online perks here and there, especially in ways you wouldn't think. Like, this is for a single-player component. This has nothing to do with online, this has nothing to do with multiplayer, and yet... Here you go. If you have a Switch Online subscription, they're kind of just giving you a single-player boost. And then they're going even crazier with that because they're now doing entire game trials with Switch Online, which in Japan also weirdly a single player focused thing. They're doing Captain Toad. You can play the whole thing for free for a week from August 5th through 11th. That's enough time to get through the full game.
Captain Toad?
Captain Toad.
I wish they would do that here because...
Yeah, they're doing Mario Tennis Aces here.
Yeah, oh, I already own that game.
Same. But yeah, everywhere else, here in the US, Europe...
Damn, they should have done Captain Toad. Would have totally beaten it.
I would have totally tried to beat it and got about halfway, as I tend to do. But no, yeah, Captain Toad would have been great. But yeah, here we're getting Mario Tennis Aces from August 7th through 13th. Again, full game for free for a week. All you need is an active Switch Online subscription. It's kind of similar to the Spirit Board pack I was just talking about. Where
is that going to be their equivalent of like a free game a month? You're just like
I think it is.
Weird game trials.
I think it is
because other companies do that already. Like I know Street Fighter V is free during Evo.
So yeah, well, Nintendo's done that before. Nintendo's done before free weekends. Like you do online. They had the free weekend for Mario Tennis. They had the free weekends for ARMS. They had the free weekends for Splatoon, where you could just download it and play it for the weekend, the multiplayer segment. What's interesting here is these are games with notable single-player segments. Captain Toad almost entirely. It is co-op, but it's really a single-player game. Mario Tennis has a full, story mode. And it's just interesting that they're doing this with these games versus, just ARMS, Splatoon, whatever. They're calling the whole thing game trials. It's an interesting concept, but I feel like you sort of already touched on it, Angel. I feel like how people are going to interpret this is based on what services they're used to or have. Like, for me, Nintendo-only guy... I'm like, oh, cool, they're giving out games for a week? They've never done that. That's awesome. But I turned to you two, who are like, you have PlayStation Plus and stuff, and it's just kind of like, does this feel like a ripoff to you? Does it seem like it makes sense?
I mean, it's not a ripoff, but it's just
not a ripoff, but, it's like shortchanged by comparison to what, the other guys do?
Well, not necessarily. So Steam does developers do a lot of free weekend stuff.
Yeah, it's just...
But then you're also not paying for Steam, but...
Right.
I mean, $20 is...
Yeah, it's basically nothing. That's what I was going to say as a counter-argument if you guys did feel... it is more restrictive.
I mean, I'm still feeling gypped for those NES games, even though they keep adding some. It's like, it loses value the more games
Which makes no sense. They add a rewind feature the other week. You can now, at any time, undo the thing you did in the game.
Yeah, but give it to me for literally any other console except NES.
Yeah,
Stop giving me NES games.
Nintendo, they're the cheapest ones for Nintendo to pump out. They're the most simplest, as most people would say instead. Most simple.
I just want Super Mario World.
Yeah, that's my all-time favorite game. So yes,
it's like I know they're not going to do N64 for maybe never, but at least get to Super Nintendo.
They'll get there in 2 years. But I mean, to their credit,
no, that's too long though.
I know, I agree.
I will be really upset if it takes.
To their credit, let's
I'm
look
this close.
Just think about where Switch Online was in whenever it launched, September a year ago, and think about where it is now.
Mediocre.
Right. But my point is, in that time span, which is less than a year, in less than a year, they've given us these game trials. They've given us, whether you like it or not, a lot of NES games.
You're counting. I wouldn't count the game trials. That's just like
they're giving. Well, they wouldn't have done it otherwise. In the way they're doing it.
Oh, thank you, Nintendo.
Well, I'm saying... no, but my point is, they're giving us stuff that they didn't give us before for $20 a year. They're giving... Fine, here's a real one. The voucher program. If you chose to do it, you can actually break even on Switch Online, or even... Yeah, break even.
For 1 year, I guess.
Yes,
and only games that they choose.
Huh?
And only games that they choose.
Well, of course. That's how any sale works in any store. Yeah. You don't just walk in and go, I want 10% off anything.
Why don't they just I mean, if I'm giving them $100, why can't they just give me $100 credit for the eShop?
Yeah, that's what I assumed it would be.
And then it's just
no, we're gonna restrict.
Then you know that you could buy literally whatever you want because you already gave them that money for the eShop, and then it just deducts from your total. And then if you run out, then you just pay the difference.
Because that doesn't help their business case of boosting their everything.
Really, I feel like this would make everyone get it more. I don't know.
So you just want Nintendo? So you pay $20 and they just hand you $100?
No, we pay $20 and we get $100, and we could pay, $100 in eShop credit. Yeah, and then each game just is going to cost.
I think $50? Because they then have to pay out to the developers while they just swallow the cost when it's themselves. They're not losing money on this; they're just not making as much. But they would actually have to actually pay other companies if any game qualified. So by limiting it to first party. Which is basically every first-party release.
I mean, you're getting some discounts, but some of them are also kind of whack. I wouldn't recommend anyone buy Monster Hunter with the voucher because that's going to be...
Is that on the list? No, it's not. It's only first-party. Sushi Striker's on the
Really?
list for $50.
I thought some other stuff was.
I think it's all first party because I think Nintendo's swallowing the cost opposed to having a payout.
Oh, well, regardless, like, yeah, there's some games that aren't even worth, like, the $50.
Well, yeah.
Like, I would say Mario Tennis probably isn't worth the $50.
Well, you could play it for free starting August 7th. Actually, the one thing I think they're doing that's cool about the game trials, to be fair, is if you don't have the game...
groundbreaking.
It's not. But if you don't have the game and you try the trial and you like the game, they're not going to be like, okay, well, give us $60. The game could be 33% off the entire time. And your save data moves right over. So it's not like a mind-blowing thing. It's not like that crazy innovative idea. But it is nice that they're not just being like, well, we got you hooked, now pay up fully. They're trying to actually, like, give you a reason to buy it then and there.
It's cool that your save data doesn't self-destruct.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So, like, you can, for example,
if you had told me that, but your save data doesn't carry over, like, yeah, that sounds like something Nintendo would do.
Yeah, but they actually kind of get it, which is nice. The whole thing kind of reminds me of, like, to throw back to, like, our earlier conversations about, like, when we were kids gaming. I remember I used to go to Blockbuster and rent games, like, over and over and over, and then eventually be like, I should probably just buy this game. And I feel like this is, like, the digital version of that, kind of, assuming I didn't have Mario Tennis or Captain Toad or whatever. But if they do more games like Captain Toad, I'm okay with this. Like, if they do games you can beat in that 1 week and just move on with your life, then it's basically PlayStation Plus, but for a third the price.
But that game also doesn't stay in your... That game also doesn't stay in your library.
That is the downside. So it'd be like a rental. It'd be like going to Blockbuster.
Yeah, I guess for $20 a year, a rental isn't bad.
It's not horrible.
One rental? A year?
No, they're going to do more of these.
Whatever they release.
And they're going to do more of these. This is just the start. I mean, they have a name for the program. This isn't like a one and done. This is them seeing how they did well with the weekends, the free play weekends, and they're like, well, what if we expand it a little more and then make it a perk? Which, take it or leave it. I mean, it really, to me, it feels like they're kind of like trying to breathe life into titles that maybe aren't as evergreen as they hoped they would be.
Because so they're probably going to do this with Mario Party, huh?
No, Mario Party's huge for them. Like,
really?
Insane. It sold like 7 million copies.
I like the game, but...
No, because that one can still get DLC.
a lot of room for
like, what I'm seeing them do here is, like, I don't know if you remember when Mario Tennis...
When did that game come out? I feel like if they were going to do DLC, they would have done it already.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going on with that. It came out in October last year. But what I was going to say is, Mario Tennis, they were saying, before it came out, like, I think it was Kineshima at the time, the Nintendo president, was like, oh yeah, this is going to be our next big evergreen tile. It's going to be our next Mario Kart.
Mario Party?
No, Mario Tennis.
Mario Tennis.
And here's the thing. It's going to be our next Splatoon. It's going to be our next Mario Kart.
Are we going to South Corner now?
No, not quite. Sort of. We're drifting that way. You'll see. But here's the thing. Mario Tennis Aces did do well up front. It sold like 2 million. And then it just completely fell off a cliff. And like to mention the sales quarter, in their latest financials, they said it only sold 110,000 this past quarter. Which isn't bad. I mean, they're at 2-point-something million. But Mario Kart 8 this past quarter sold 1.2 million in that same 3 months. So this is not their next Mario Kart. This is not their new Splatoon. Splatoon even sold 320,000 this past 3 months. So it's nowhere near those numbers. And then what kind of happened is they ran out of free DLC for Mario Kart Aces. They had it all mapped out, and now it's done. The last thing they did was like alternate colors of Paratroopas, and that came out like a week ago. And now they're like, we're done with DLC. And then suddenly out of nowhere, they're like, but what if we gave you the whole game for a week and then you can get it for 33% off? So it feels like they're trying to like juice their numbers a bit and get games that maybe are lagging in evergreen potential back up to speed. Because even if you don't try the game, people are going to be talking about it. It's going to be on social media. It's going to be word of mouth. There's going to be news stories talking about how you could try it for free. There's going to be basically built-in marketing with this. So it's kind of... And Captain Toad is sort of the same thing. Like, it didn't, like... wasn't earth-shattering sales, but I'm sure it did fine. But this is kind of a nice way for them to... for much less money up front, achieve similar goals to what DLC does every time they release something new and they get the coverage and they get the attention. So I think that's kind of clever of them. And I feel like there's other Switch games that could benefit from it. Like, I don't know, like the Bayonetta, the 1-2 combo pack could probably get a boost from this. Or like, I don't know what else, but are there any like Switch games that you guys think of that like could probably benefit from getting a little more attention? That like, I'm trying to blank on anything with Bayonetta.
I don't know how well Xenoblade Chronicles
It actually did. I mean, it did over 1 million, which they were happy with. But yeah, that would be a really good one because there's no way you're gonna beat the game in that week. Yeah, but yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting strategy. And since you sort of tipped my hand there, Angel, we are slipping into Nintendo's financials now because that is just kind of the next logical place to go at this point.
Only logical, yes.
Yes, it's logical, but
it seems a jingle.
It does. Anyone want to sing?
No.
Okay.
Go into-
No, but what I was gonna
This
say
is why the
is,
timestamps are helpful.
what?
I said this is why the timestamps are helpful, people.
Yes, because you can jump right to the jingle, because that's exactly what everyone's going to do. I was going to say, like, the Switch Online thing, whatever they're doing, I know you guys, well, I know you're really down on Angel. You seem a little more in the middle about it, Kevin, but whatever they're doing seems to be working, because even before Game Trials, Switch Online and its bucket of sale number or revenue that it generates, which includes all digital purchases, is up 65% year over year. So clearly people are buying this thing and are okay enough with it to keep it.
All right, official
So-
Jason Sill corner.
If it's a sad trombone... Oh, there we go.
Oh, that did the loop.
I thought you were going to do the sad trombone, to be honest. But anyway, so yeah, we might as well jump into the financial.
It might have been too loud. I don't
It
know.
does. Nah, I think you're okay. It, as I mentioned before, it covers April 1st through June 30th, 3-month period, first quarter of their fiscal year. They didn't really have a meeting or any sort of like session with investors or anything. They just gave us numbers, which kind of makes sense. We already know their entire 2019 plan at this point. Like, what's there to know? But what's interesting here is that this report is covering a period of time with only a single major release, and that release only was in the period for 3 days. It was Super Mario Maker 2. It sold 2.42 million units worldwide, again in just 3 days, that's a solid start. It kind of explains why there's now 4 million courses uploaded to Super Mario Maker 2, which is an insane number.
I keep watching Twitch streams of that game,
Yeah.
and like it looks fun, but then they'll play a Super Mario World course, and it's like, oh man,
It's the level design just not the same. You could tell these are made by fans and not made by Nintendo.
no. I'm reacting positively. Like,
yeah.
I want Super Mario World again, and unfortunately, the best way that I'm going to do that is by having to play like user-generated courses,
Which aren't the same.
which aren't the same. But
Yeah, no, like I really like Mario Maker. I have fun going through course where I'm just playing random course. I just basically go into the like endless shuffle of them and just see what comes up. But yeah, no,
But
it's,
you got
can,
Mario Maker too?
no,
He's
I
been
haven't
watching
done it.
on Twitch.
I've been watching on Twitch,
But you can. There's definitely a discrepancy, not just in how well thought out they are, because there are some that are very well thought out in Mario Maker, but like the intentions of the level design are very different.
So like, let's say somebody recreates World 1-1,
Yeah,
just straight up World 1-1.
yeah.
Do those get taken down?
I have no idea. That's a good question. And you know, if you add a whole bunch of fireballs on swivel,
Yeah,
it
I
becomes
saw
a
that.
meme. It
Yeah.
goes super viral.
But like, would somebody be able to recreate all of
I think so.
I think they probably could.
without Nintendo being like, no,
Well, I don't know what
we
Nintendo
can't
would.
have that.
I don't know why Nintendo would be upset. It's not like they're profiting off it. It's
Because
in Nintendo's game.
people have literally remade like a bunch of other levels from other properties, and
Kevin, if what you're saying
and then
is
everything to
What I'm saying is, I need
if you need someone to
I
redo all
need you
Mario
to
World from
make
start to
Super
finish,
Mario
yes,
World.
okay, we're on the same
Okay.
page. If that's what
There
you're
we go.
saying, I agree. I turn
wonder if it's
to
possible.
I turn to Angel because he's the one that's most creative
I don't have Mario
of the
Maker
bunch. We can give you my copy for a while if you want to recreate from start to finish the entirety of Super Mario World. Are you interested? I need an answer right here, right now.
I guess not.
Maybe not the entirety, but like,
Donut Plains.
Just the best level.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
But yeah, so
the
Mario
worst
Maker.
2D
And
Mario
listen,
game.
listen, you can become one of the 2.42 million who bought the game, and then you can make us a stage.
Nah, it's okay though.
Okay, well, I tried. I first offered it for free, and then I told him to buy it, and somehow that didn't convince him.
If I never have to play Mario World again, that'd be too soon.
Wow.
Excuse me?
Shots fired. What do you have against Mario World? Let's just screech this whole podcast to a halt. What do you have against Mario World, sir?
It's aggressively average.
He's just trolling us, right? No one could see Kevin's face,
don't
but
know,
he
but-
made a face, and it was a good face.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it was a bad face, but it was a good reaction to a bad comment.
I don't know. I've never liked the game. Like, it was always just kind of like okay for me.
What's your favorite 2D Mario? Go. Do you even like 2D Mario?
I mean, I 100% at all of them, but
That doesn't answer my question. That is a dodge of a question if I've ever heard one.
I like them enough to keep going.
What's your favorite?
I don't know.
Wow.
I guess I never really had a favorite.
Interesting. We're really getting deep here on this episode. Bad memories, love, your secret hatred of 2D Mario.
And like I said, I don't hate them. They're just like, they were just never like, oh my god, like I love these. It was just kind of like, oh cool, let's play Mario. All right, I beat it. On to the next one.
Mario's my favorite franchise, which is why I'm like, what?
It's like I will always pick like Donkey Kong Country 2 over any 2D Mario. Like put it that way.
Well, I don't know who ever chooses Donkey Kong Country 2 over 1 or 3, but
Yes, 100%. 3 is actually, weirdly enough, my favorite, I think.
Yeah, 3's good.
Yeah.
I think Donkey Kong Country 1 is probably my favorite, but
I mean, I really, really like part 1. Like part 1 and 2 are definitely up there. But I just
You're gonna say 3's worse. You're about to say.
I mean, 2 I think only beats 1 because
Diddy Kong.
Because the overall sound. I mean, Diddy Kong is also in 1, but
True.
but I mean, Diddy Kong is my favorite Kong, and I like playing as Diddy and Dixie. I find like playing as them 2 were more fun than playing as a big one and a little one,
or a big fat baby.
Also, the soundtrack for 2. I mean, soundtrack for 1 is really, really great, but I think there's just more creativity in part 2 than 1. Like the levels just got like
that's the only plus that I would probably give.
Yeah.
The soundtrack's really good in Donkey Kong.
It was also just more challenging because I really love my challenging games. Like it was
about 3. Shouldn't that theoretically be more creative even and more challenging even?
It wasn't more challenging. It was just weird. I don't know. Like,
wow, weird.
It's like it tried to get creative, but it ended up not being as fun in some aspects. Like those like levels where you have to like throw into the background. Like where did those come from? Like that wasn't
came from the future. It came from the 3DS is where it came from.
I don't know. Like I always thought those were just very out of place and not that great.
It is a little out of place.
Also, the final boss with Frank and K. Rool, whatever his name is, was just super
We're just
uninspired.
the 90s spoiler cast today.
Oh yeah,
no one cares. I'm kidding.
He's like the final boss.
Wario Land and Donkey Kong 3. Man,
like,
I hope someone hasn't.
The track for him and just the way you fight him was just really boring compared to the way you fight Captain K. Rool or King K. Rool. Like Captain K. Rool felt like a nice progression of King K. Rool. This one just felt like they went backwards. I mean, as far as the
only one I'm actually gonna like fight to the death about you with is Mario World being bad.
Oh no, it's not. It's not a bad game. It's just in my own personal opinion, I thought it was just okay. I think I liked every 2D Mario game.
Yeah,
I think every 2D Mario game that came after, I always thought was better than the one before. So we'll just keep it like that.
Wait, what 2D one came after?
I guess Super Mario.
Please
DS?
don't say New Super Mario.
DS.
Wait. Can I like somehow screech the podcast to a further screeching halt that already screeched a few minutes ago? You're saying New Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo DS, the one that launched alongside the DS Lite, the one that was back to basics.
I mean, I guess if we go console, I guess it'd be New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Wait, what?
I guess no, going by console.
DS. It's DS. We're not going by console. They're all one.
Well, I mean, that one didn't feel like a full game compared to the Wii one. So.
Okay, but you're admitting the DS one is not better than World.
I probably had more fun playing it. I don't know.
I
don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I just straight up hate the New Super Mario Brothers game.
You mean you don't like how every third beat all the Emmys look at you and go, bah?
I mean, those games are like also just like aggressively sterile.
They're very sterile.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy co-oping all of them with Elvis.
No, they're fun. I enjoy them, but I have trouble wracking my head around they're better.
Like New Super Mario Brothers U, I think was really good.
That was good. Also, the way they did the visuals with like the
especially with Super Luigi U, that was also like a really nice addition.
That was a good by the way.
Thank you. Little known fact about me: I practice in front of the mirror once a week since 2005, 6, 5.
Yeah, I say Mario Bros. U is definitely better than Mario World easily.
Okay. Well.
He's saying that with a smirk because he's trying to rile us up. But you know what? I'm not taking the bait because we have sales numbers.
I respect your wrong opinion. Okay?
I respect that you have an opinion. That's all. That's where it's.
I respect that you have played Super Mario World like in the last decade?
It's one of the few games I beat multiple times.
Have you played it in the last decade?
I played it on Game Boy Advance.
Have you played it in the last decade?
No.
Play it, and you will.
I don't know what would change. What would change from when I was a teenager? I'm not like that dumb. I understand if I was 6 and my Crazy Castle is fun, but
just play it again.
Mario World when I'm like 16, I think
you're gonna be like whoa, like you're gonna be like, well, this game is good, but I definitely like thought the nostalgia.
Now I'm gonna specifically not think that just to spite you.
I almost drove all the way to West Covina to get a Super Nintendo Classic, but I stopped myself.
Oh.
I do have a Super Nintendo Classic. I could go back and play it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I don't know if it'll be by next episode, but within the next couple episodes.
So it's not going to happen.
No, what you're saying. It'll happen. I don't know if it'll be next.
And the next couple episodes, like the next couple months?
Before our episode covering Link's Awakening. So before the end of September sometime, because it's the last 2 weeks of September, I will report back on this show.
Actually, you know what?
With Mario World impressions.
Actually, you know what? I'll give you that. I bet you will lose interest in Mario World. It won't keep your interest enough to beat the game before the end of the year.
You do not lose your interest in Super Mario World.
You do not lose your interest in Super Mario World. It's my all-time favorite game.
Beat it before...
I'm going to beat it before the end of September, and I'll report back on this podcast.
You're going to beat it before the end of September?
That's what I just said it a minute ago.
All right.
And then you're like...
Oh, no. I wasn't expecting you just to play it.
Nope.
I wasn't even expecting you to beat it.
It's going to be it.
All right.
If you're gonna come at my favorite game, you best not miss.
What is your definition of beat? Because
beat it, like get to the end. Oh, do you want me to do the secret world too?
I thought you were gonna beat every level.
I would say get to the end credits.
Get to the end credits. We'll see about every level. It depends on.
Well,
I'm gonna be traveling
like
a couple
10 minutes.
times. Well, the last world is like 10 minutes long. Yeah, so
no, the whole game. If you
not.
cheese it, like with your shortcuts and all that stuff.
Well, if you're playing with shortcuts, of course it's not as good of a game because you're not experiencing the full breadth of it. Anyway, we're getting really off track.
Right.
All I'm saying is I'm gonna report back before the end of September.
Right. So first to last level, no level skips. Like you're like one path, like no like backtracking.
Well, I'll do like the forks, like the two different exits sometimes, but I'm not gonna do like the jump all the way, like just do 5 levels and you're done.
Okay, well, that's exciting. I'm excited that you're gonna potentially beat a game.
You don't come at my favorite game like this. No,
it's fine. I mean, I'm not saying you guys are wrong for thinking what you. I mean, you people like what they like.
You literally were like, you should play it again because you're wrong, and you realize you're wrong. So you did say that.
No, I said play it again, and you might think that. I don't know.
Okay.
Opinions change. I thought Luigi's Mansion was amazing, and then I replayed it, and then I'm all like, oh, it's not that great.
But you know what is great?
Still better than the 3DS one, but it's not as great as I thought.
You know what is great? Sales of Switch hardware. How's that for smooth? No, but just to sort of steer back on track a little. Mario Maker 2 was the only game that came out, right, in this core that sold well. But sales of Switch hardware somehow were still... Wow, I really just hard-turned into this. But sales of Switch hardware somehow were actually up 13% this quarter versus the same period a year ago with fewer games.
13, you say?
What?
Whoa.
Yeah. Nintendo moved... Yeah, I was like, what is he looking at? Nintendo moved 2.13 million units this past quarter, which means that Switch's lifetime sales are now at 36.87 million units. Some outside analysts said that puts it on pace with the PS4's trajectory in the same time frame of its existence, and that's including the fact that the PS4 had an extra holiday season, and Switch is still matching it without that holiday season. And, like, technically, I should be fair, there was also Labo VR that came out this quarter, but that didn't really do anything. They didn't even mention it in the financials. I mean, and I don't think Captain Toad getting VR mode that was announced the other day, I don't think that's going to move any numbers. No one's going to care. But yeah, somehow, even with just that one big game, Nintendo software sales were up 26% year over year. Switch software has now sold over 210 million since the Switch came out. That's a lot of games. And the driving force of all this were the evergreens, because they just keep selling. Like, we already mentioned Mario Kart 8 sold like 1.2 million. That means that, to put it in perspective, the Switch version of the game is now at 18 million copies. Well, technically 17.89, but I'm rounding. And that's as of June 30th. It's probably over 18 by now. And if you add the original Wii U version into that total too, because it's the same game, 26 million copies of Mario Kart 8 have been sold. That means it's the second most popular Mario Kart ever, only behind the Wii one, which came with the wheel and sold 37.2 million. So...
No, it's not even that good.
No, it's not. I'd say it's one of the weaker ones. So it's crazy that this one's doing this well. And it wasn't just Mario Kart. Like Smash Bros. Moved another nearly million copies this past quarter, 920,000 to be exact, which means it sold, as of end of June, probably past it by now, 14.73 million. And that makes it very, very close, like within a few 100,000 of beating out Smash 4's Wii U and 3DS sales combined, which would make it the best-selling Smash Bros. Ever. And it did it in 8 months?
Good for Nintendo. The Wii U was a total flop, and maybe not total flop, but I mean, it flopped.
Yeah, so. It really did. And like, what's crazy is over 40% of Switch owners already own Smash Bros. That's a lot of people that own Smash Bros. And Mario Odyssey's still moving another 500,000 copies. Its sales are now actually slightly higher than Smash, also around 15 million.
Odyssey was great.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild moved another 840,000 units, which means it's now at 13.6 million total.
I don't like that game, but cool.
Interesting. What's interesting about that one, though, besides your lack of liking it, which I want to dig deeper into, is it has now sold more copies. There are more copies of Breath of the Wild on Switch sold than there were Wii U sold total. So everything's like doing well for Nintendo, like you said. It's a nice turnaround after the Wii U, and like even games that like you wouldn't expect to be doing so well are doing very well. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe has sold over 4 million copies since it came out in January.
Why?
I don't know. 790 of those were just in the past 3 months because it's like super easy and accessible and apparently better than Mario World according to someone at this table. Yeah, it's...
I mean, it's not really a comparison.
Wow, he's just really digging deeper.
Just keep going.
Yeah, I know.
Before I lose it.
And then
looks-wise, I could give you that, like, by space, but just, like, level design-wise, I mean,
I set us up for this moment right here.
Just keep
I
going.
don't know
Just
why.
keep going.
Pokemon. It's like every time I say Mario, he's go back. By the way, Mario World is not good. No, but Pokemon Let's
It could
Go.
be your favorite game. No one can take that away.
They're trying.
No.
I know, I'm kidding. Pokemon Let's Go, we're at 11 million with that already. 350,000 more sold this quarter, which is roughly what a Pokemon game does at this point in its life. So it's not bad. Like, some people are like, oh, Let's Go underperforms, not doing well. It is doing more the, like, half-step remake sequels and the full generations. But it's still, like, selling on pace with what you expect. It's not like this horrible, awful thing that doesn't sell that everyone seems to supposedly hate, even though...
Yeah, like, Sword and Shield is going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you pair it with the Switch Lite, which like all the kids are going to have. It's going to be nuts. I think the biggest surprise, though, we kind of touched on this before, but Super Mario Party, 7 million copies sold. Well, 6.99. They sold 699,000 just this past quarter. I don't know. Like, the game's good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not. My concern here isn't that the game is a runaway success. It deserves it. It's fun. I'm surprised that Nintendo hasn't made DLC. Like, we were kind of talking about this before, but, like, what are they
Waiting for?
doing? Yeah, it's a ripe opportunity. Just release old minigames, release old boards, do something, anything, because you've got 7 million people out there with a fun, albeit bare bones, Mario Party, and I'm sure at least a decent chunk of them would buy more content. Like, would you buy more? You have it. Would you buy more content if they released it?
Depends.
If it's,
But I'd be happy that there is content
and to look into it.
Yeah, I would definitely look into
How
it.
did the top 100 sell?
Not spectacularly. No. It did. I mean, I think it did.
I wonder why. It's like literally the game no one asked for on the platform. No one
But
wants.
it's the game that everybody wants.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, I want.
If it was on a console, it would have.
Top
Oh my
100,
god!
if it was on Switch, it probably
it would have blown up. If they
Yeah.
take top 100 minigame selection and just make it like an expansion pack for Mario Party, for Super Mario Party, they're golden. They can even bundle it and re-release it as like Super Mario Party.
I mean,
top
I'd buy it
100.
as a separate game.
That's a lot of work for them to do, though.
And they just, I mean, they port stuff
Like-
all the time these days. They could just up-res it, basically.
Yeah, I guess an up-res would probably be the only way that you can go with the top 100.
Yeah, but it's just crazy that they haven't released any DLC, and this is one of their top-selling games now. And there's like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, the same's true for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You know, we're talking about being the number one selling Switch game. 48% of Switch owners own Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Not a yeah, that's fine. Not a. In case no one heard that, he stole my water bottle cap. But no, not a single piece of DLC has been made for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I mean, yeah, it comes with DLC from original Mario Kart 8, but they're just sitting on this game with no new content. And from like a business perspective, it's like kind of blows my mind Nintendo isn't milking it in any way, shape, or form. Just laying it right out. Actually, somehow the only milking, this is really, I'm doing it. Somehow the only milking that's happening is 1-2 Switch managed to pass 3 million units sold this quarter. I don't know who's still milking cows or who's buying the game, but 40,000 people from April to June in the year 2019 were like, yeah, that's the game I'm going to buy.
It's an okay tech demo to show off what's possible with it.
I just don't, like, I enjoyed it when it came out, but I'm just thinking there's so many things you spend money on now that have more meat on the bone.
I can't believe they even said its name again.
And you mean I said the name?
Oh.
The thing that kind of I don't understand is, okay, so 1-2 Switch is still selling. So be it.
No, Nintendo. Like I can't believe like they bothered to like re-advertise it again.
With what? I do know what you're talking about, but I forgot.
I want to say they brought up with the voucher, like you could buy like this game or that game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really?
Because
like, this game, you're gonna spend your $50 on this game.
Apparently, there's still people buying it. 40,000
this
this quarter. 3 million
They
sold.
have no shame thinking that game is still worth $50.
Nintendo never drops their prices. The game vouchers are bold, but like the fact that they're doing the game voucher, the fact that they're doing the free week, the game trial, the fact that they're dropping Mario Tennis by a third in price, that's all very un-Nintendo. Like very un-Nintendo. It's strange. But yeah, 1-2 Switch, like, okay, fine, say what you will about the game. I'm obviously like kind of making fun of it, but 3 million people, how are you not releasing new DLC for it? Like, how are you just not? Why is Nintendo just not?
Because I think Nintendo also knows that people are literally only going to buy this game to show it off to their friends.
Yeah,
I think that's they don't have to
that's a
do
fair
it.
point,
They
yeah.
don't have to do any more work for it. Like,
yeah, they
and I'm sure it's not an expensive game to make.
No, I mean they just had to hire some actors. It's full motion video,
just a couple. Add some green screens. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I guess to your
CG cutters and
right. Yeah, and just some nice milking gestures.
Yeah.
But I guess, yeah, to your point, it's not like Nintendo necessarily needs to do DLC for all these games, because, like, there's this Japanese... Did you use your other bottle cap? You're really bad at this. But anyway, what I was going to say is there's this Japanese analytics firm called Risk Masters, which is a great name for an analytics firm. And they say that Nintendo has the second most cash on hand of any company in Japan, only behind Toshiba. They have $7.79 billion in cash sitting in the bank ready to go. That's crazy. Like, just the revenue this past quarter was $1.58 billion. That's up about 2.4% from a year ago, which is not percentage-wise huge, but that's a big number. So maybe you're right. Maybe they don't need all that DLC.
Yeah,
they could just keep milking it, literally.
I do think that Super Mario Party probably needs DLC because I don't know anybody who's still playing that. If you're buying a Switch and you want to show it off, you're most likely going to buy one to Switch. Just show it off to your parent. You know, I showed my parents 1-2 Switch.
I never bought 1-2 Switch, weirdly. He did.
Well,
Angel did.
Well, how many people...
No one. I live a sad, lonely life.
Well, yeah, but like, how many people that you know...
So quick to agree.
Didn't...
buy 1-2 Switch?
Yeah, buy 1-2 Switch.
Actually, most of the Switch owners I know didn't buy it. Besides you guys. Like, outside of our circle, yeah. But then again... Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, yeah. But I think they all know someone who has it. Like, that's why only, like, our group, like, only Angel has it, because we could just come here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think what's also kind of interesting is we talk about how Nintendo doesn't necessarily need to spend the money to develop DLC. They, not only are they raking in money in general, but, like, Switch right now, just as it is, without the DLC, 89% of their business this past quarter was the Switch.
Well, yeah, the 3DS is dying down.
Exactly. Smartphone games and IP expansion was 6%. 3DS was barely 3%. We kind of touched on it earlier, but they, you know, it's hardware sales were 200,000 this last quarter. Software was under 2 million. And then they have a final. If someone's doing the math at home, like that's only 98%. You are correct, sir or madam. The other 2% is other, whatever that is. So business.
Still selling those cards.
The Amiibo cards. Oh, the Funde cards. Yeah, yep, that's what it is. But yeah, if you take that 89% and then pair it with what Switch is going to do for the rest of the year. Like, you just extrapolate that out. You know, we got the monthly drumbeat of new games. We've got already Fire Emblem Three Houses is blowing up. Last episode, me and Angel were talking about, like, oh, yeah, there's no buzz around this. How weird. It has buzz now. It is. Its sales in the UK specifically were nearly double that of Awakening, which previously was the best-selling Fire Emblem over there.
Fates didn't surpass Awakening?
Fates, I think, came in a little
Shut
under
the door.
There's no door for me to close. But I could find. Yeah, I
There's
want to get
plenty
up.
of doors. There's a door right there.
All right, I'm not gonna do it. But yeah. So we were wrong about Fire Emblem not getting much buzz. But then on top of that, you know, we got the Switch Lite in September. We got Zelda. We got Dragon Quest XI, which thanks to Hero and Smash is now the #1 selling game on Amazon's video game chart as of right now. The Switch version. Then there's Luigi. Then there's Pokemon. All of this happening with the Evergreens probably continuing to sell at the numbers we were just talking about. So like. They're gonna make so much money this year, and that's not even including China. We haven't even touched on China. Just this past Friday. Well, we're recording on Friday, so today, Nintendo and its distribution partner in China, Tencent, they had a press conference. They outlined their plans to bring Switch to that huge untapped market of China. It's not really surprising. Like, due to the Great Firewall, as they call it, like Tencent's gonna do all the server stuff. You're only gonna be able to play online within China. Like Mario Kart 8's gonna lose its online mode, worldwide part at least. And like Tencent's gonna run the eShop, they're gonna have this cloud save servers, but they're gonna launch it with like all the big hitters. So it's gonna have Mario Kart, Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey. Yeah, it's kind of big. And then apparently they're getting exclusive games over there. Ubisoft, interestingly enough, is making a Rabbids themed party game that is China themed, and as of now is only coming to Chinese Switches. It's sort of called. Well, I don't know what it's called, actually. I think it's called something like Rabbids Adventure Party or Rabbids Go West or something. But the premise is it's the Rabbids, and they all look like they're kind of dressed in traditional Chinese garb or, like, you know, emperor clothes and all that. And it's a standard minigame compilation, but the premise is them exploring the rest of the world from China as their home base. I'd be interested to see if they bring it west if it changes any. But it doesn't necessarily have to. That's the thing.
Well, the Switch isn't region locked, is it?
It isn't, but I don't know if the online, if there is online, let's say, will work.
They definitely made it a point to say that you can play whatever games you want on this.
Yes. Except you can't, because in China, they are changing Mario Kart, they are changing things, they are region specific. You might be able to import stuff, but I don't know if you'll get through whatever government restrictions, because China's very locked down.
Is that the only reason they partner with the Tencent?
Yeah, because Tencent was basically their way to get in. Tencent was their way to get in. they wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise to get approval that quick and everything.
Am I getting... Tencent is probably the
biggest publisher in the world. I don't know if that's
but I know they're... So, like, Amazon is huge, but there's one more marketplace above Amazon.
Alibaba.
Is that... yeah, that's... I was good.
Yeah.
Alibaba is a Chinese company as well, is right?
Yes, it is. So Tencent's like the giant tech company of China, and they own like WeChat and all that, which interestingly you'll actually be able to pay with WeChat in the eShop in China, which is a huge get for Nintendo over there because everyone uses WeChat. That's like a direct, oh yeah, I can use Venmo inside your... It's kind of like how we have PayPal, actually. It's a better one. And then Alibaba was the big Amazon equivalent. But yeah, so this is going to be huge for Nintendo. I mean, Mario and Rabbids was one of the, I think, the only top 10 game of all time for Switch, sales-wise, that was by a third party. So just having the Rabbids over there opens the door to all sorts of opportunities for them. And I kind of like the Rabbids now. I like the original. Then they got too goofy, but now they've kind of like shifted back a little. So I don't mind. What do you guys have opinions of the Rabbids one way or another?
I was really close to buying Mario Rabbids.
It's fun.
Kingdom Battle.
Yeah.
Kingdom Battle. Yeah, but that's only because I love XCOM, and that was a very XCOM game.
Very much so.
Never ended up getting it. That's if they put out a trial for that. That's definitely
That'd be a good one. That'd be a really good one.
I get it.
I mean, Elba seemed to really like it. He beat the main campaign and the DLC.
Yeah. Which is weird because he does not like XCOM.
Maybe with a Nintendo filter that got him in.
But
because it's basically the same game, right? But
yeah, it's a
little bit. There's some differences, but it's the same basic premise.
Maybe it's more pick up and play than XCOM.
It's more approachable.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, that would be a great one for the game trials because its DLC's done. They're doing like in-game events that no one really pays attention to, but they could get a huge resurgence. But yeah, whatever happens with Rabbids, whether it comes west or not, I think a bigger takeaway from all this Switch success we're seeing on the financials and in general, like the strong sales this quarter without many new games, the promise that the numbers are really going to blow up once the drum beat starts going again. It's going to mean a lot for third-party support in general. Like, I think we're finally starting to see the Switch reach or really surpass the point where third parties are now considering it. Like, oh, should we bring this game here now? I don't know. Like, I think we're at the point where we're getting third parties like, yeah, just bring everything. Like, bring the weird stuff. Bring stuff you wouldn't expect. And I think the prime example of that is out of nowhere.
Goat Simulator.
Yes, that is coming to Switch, or might already be on Switch. And it's the Game of the Year edition, or the GOAT edition, if you will. Greatest of all time.
Wow, throwing that out there.
And it came true. You just willed it into existence. But no, Obsidian, they're bringing the Outer Worlds.
Powered for good.
You should, but you definitely won't. But yeah, they're knowing you. They're Outer Worlds on Switch. Like
I'm so hyped up.
How
for that
wild
game.
Is that?
That's awesome.
So what is Outer World?
So it's Obsidian Entertainment. Obsidian is comprised of a lot of I believe
Fallout.
Not maybe Black Isle Studios or Black Tusk Studios, which were the OG Fallout games. So Fallout 1, Fallout 2, and then this game is very Fallout-ish. If you add just a little bit of Borderlands' attitude,
and a dash of the focus on like consumerism and capitalism of
Oh, is Outer World the one trailer where it's like you're just in a very colorful environment and some weird planet or something like that?
No,
perhaps an outer world, if you will.
And it had like a narrator narrating.
It does have a narrator.
Yes.
Yeah, they premiered it at the Game Awards, and I remember sitting there going, "Oh, this is cool." And then going, oh, this is really elaborate. Oh, this isn't coming to Switch. I'm just going to not pay attention anymore. This isn't coming to Switch. And then, sure enough, here we are. And they just casually put out a video like,
the only bummer is that it's going to come out after.
Yeah.
After the PS4, Xbox,
so you're getting it on
in October, and this comes out later.
No, I'm probably going to get it on PC.
Makes sense.
But it's cool that it's there because, like, imagine. Between like this and let's say The Witcher, which is coming to Switch as well, like suddenly the likes of a Borderlands or a Grand Theft Auto or a Fallout, it just feels that much more possible on Switch.
Wow.
I mean,
I forgot I'm playing The Witcher.
Borderlands made it onto the Vita, so I don't see why it wouldn't be able to make it onto the Switch.
But it's just like the idea. Well, wasn't that kind of a spin-off, or was it a main Borderlands?
No, it was Borderlands 2 on the Vita, but it was very, very watered down.
Well, this will only be somewhat watered down.
I don't think there was any multiplayer, and not as many on-screen enemies, along with a visual downgrade, obviously.
Right.
Man,
But, yeah.
I wish Marvel vs. Capcom Ultimate 3 made it to the Switch, since it was also on Vita. That just reminded me of that.
You never know. The companies like porting old games. I mean, look no further than like the Dooms that just came out.
That's true. They ported Ultimate 3 to the PC, I think, after Infinite came out, or maybe.
Oh yeah,
right.
it came out like randomly out of nowhere for like a little bit, and then
But was it after Infinite came out, or?
I think it was a little bit before. It was like after Infinite was announced, because for the last couple years you weren't allowed to buy almost any of the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting games. A lot of the old ones, because they were, I guess, Capcom and Disney were having it out, or I don't know. But now they're talking again because they just released the cabinet that anyone could buy. That's Marvel vs. Capcom and whatever. So
I do legitimately, like, I was saying it tongue cheek, but I'm kind of serious. Like, if you look at how much attention re-releases of Doom got, and you look at the fact that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is doing well on Switch, apparently it had, like, unconfirmed numbers, it had a really strong opening weekend, apparently. So if you look at that, it's not that, and you look at Capcom loving to port things to Switch, it's not that outlandish to think that it could come to Switch at some point. I mean, Doom blew up. Like,
since
since
Doom is like your favorite game, are you going to get all the 3 because it's like your favorite game now or something?
Well, it's not my favorite game. It's cool that they did it. I mean, it's only $5 for 1 and 2. You just have to get over that hump of they accidentally, quote unquote, put DRM on it that makes you log into Bethesda net. Now they claim that it was supposed to be optional, and then you get to be part of the Slayer Club or whatever it's called. And you get perks in New Doom. How do you accidentally... You're QAing the thing. How do you not go, gee, this screen won't let me exit? So that's them covering for themselves. But I do think Doom 3 coming to Switch was kind of a cool surprise. Panic Button actually did the port. It's a little up-res, I believe. And it's only $10.
Didn't Panic Button do Sonic Boom? Oh, I'm thinking Big Red Button.
Yeah, Panic Button did Doom on Switch and Wolfenstein on Switch and other games on Switch that involve guns. I don't think they're doing Turok, but there is a Turok coming to Switch this week as well. Turok 2 Seeds of Evil, they're porting to Switch.
Oh, what do you know?
It's almost as if you like saw an outline of topics coming up.
Doom 3 is a very
I actually didn't know about Turok.
I've heard Doom 3 is interesting because it's kind of a horror game.
Yeah, it's definitely more horror than action. One of the big things that people had a problem with when it released was you're going through corridors, but they're super dark.
Yeah,
and you have a flashlight, and at no point can you attach the flashlight to a gun, so you're just switching between flashlight and gun.
When you fire, does that at least light up the corridor?
Yeah, you get the muzzle flashes, but
it's not
like
the same.
But eventually, people were like, "Yeah, we'll just mod in a flashlight to your gun," and then people had like fun little mods of like they had the bat signal as like the
awesome.
the flashlight,
which you unfortunately can't do with the Switch. You can't mod it. But it is only $10, so it's kind of like, do you put up with that for $10 just to say it's
were you the ones that shared Woody playing Sekiro or something like that?
No, that was Matthew, I believe.
Oh, that was hilarious.
It is a video going around the internet for those who don't know any of the parties involved in this conversation.
Yeah, because I saw the video before I read any of the context, and I'm all like, whoa, what is this game? This looks awesome. And then, I also like saw it tiny, and then I zoomed in, and I'm like, oh, this looks familiar. But yeah, that'd have been cool.
But yeah, the thing about the Dooms and the thing about Turok, which is, yes, it's coming to Switch this Thursday. It's an up-res version. That's many consider it like one of the
best games of all time.
N64 shooters, right?
Which one?
Turok 2.
Oh yeah, the Turok games are beloved on.
Yeah, and it's coming to Switch literally this week out of nowhere. But the thing about all these that people aren't picking up on, and why I think like a Marvel vs. Capcom could actually work, is everyone says they want a virtual console. We have one. It's just not called that. The Switch is getting so many ports from so many different generations that we basically are getting an ad hoc, pay as you go. Everyone's branding it differently. Virtual console. The Switch is the all-in-one.
Yeah, it's throwing Banjo-Kazooie and we're good.
Yeah, which could happen. And there's rumors that even stuff like Doom 64 might be coming, which is... So that one's interesting because...
that was trademarked, right?
Yeah, so the PEGI rating board in Europe, their
PEGI
ESRB...
13.
Yes. I love how it's always the same guy doing it in every trailer.
Do you think he gets paid for every single one?
I hope he gets residuals. That'd be great for him. But they put out a rating for Doom 64 on PC and PS4. Which is not Switch. Which is not Switch. But the Dooms that did come to Switch, a couple on Doomsday, as I like to call it, they also got PEGI ratings only for PS4 and PC and then showed up on Switch anyway. So Doom 64 is probably coming. But it's just, like, all these things are happening at once, and it's just like, oh, if everyone just keeps porting stuff...
wouldn't it be weird if a Doom 64 wouldn't come out on Nintendo console?
It'd be very weird, especially because I can't think of a single other game that kept the 64 in its name when it got re-released. Can you? I can't think of a single...
Are we going to get 4 through 63
I guess
at some
64
point?
DS, but... He's got jokes as good as my Doomsday one. Yes, we will get all 64 individual Doom games that have ever been released, correct. The one exception to us, like, oh yeah, all these games are coming to Switch, is great. Because, like, actually, can you imagine? Let's say Witcher does well. Let's say Outer Worlds does well.
I think Witcher will do well. Outer Worlds is more niche than The Witcher.
Witcher is not going to be $50, right? Because I got it for $5 at
it probably will. But it's got to
with all the DLC.
It's got to come with physical items if you buy it physically. It will definitely be more expensive. You're paying for the portability. Is going to be the pitch. But let's say they all do well. Is it that absurd to suddenly be like, could Cyberpunk happen?
No, God, no.
I didn't think Outer World could happen.
No, Cyberpunk is not going to happen. Well, so the thing
crazy,
about...
Jason.
Okay,
so,
I guess so.
No, because the Outer Worlds, Obsidian has gone out of their way to say this is not an 100-hour game. This is going to be a tight 20 to 30 hour experience.
So it's not so much the fidelity; it's not so much the fidelity; it's the amount of stuff you could cram on a Switch game. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Because Cyberpunk is going to be plus 100-hour game plus the visual fidelity
I
of
just
that
watched
game.
Keanu on my Switch. He called me breathtaking at E3. I need to.
Were you in the audience for that?
I was. I was at the Xbox conference.
I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, it was a great moment. Yeah, but so I guess Cyberpunk might not happen. The other.
But
yes,
CD Projekt Red did say that they had multiple Cyberpunk projects in the works. Or maybe they didn't say it, but it was rumored.
What if it's like a side story or a prequel?
Yeah, those can absolutely come on Switch.
Because they have so much attention around that game. They could totally build a whole universe. The one exception that isn't coming to Switch 100%, EA. So that's a company, not a game. Just to clarify the Switch here in topic. But during their earnings call, their CEO, a guy named Andrew Wilson, pretty plainly explained that they just don't plan to support the Switch in any meaningful way besides their like half-baked FIFA updates. Here's the quote. I'm just going to read it. We have a lot of data that would suggest a great many Switch owners also own a PS4 or an Xbox One or a PC and very often choose to play the games that we make on those platforms, even though they have a Switch and they enjoy a lot of great content on the Switch. End quote. Now, I do get that on some level. Like, why invest if they have data suggesting nobody's going to buy it? But where is this data coming from? Because they didn't really release much on Switch. They have FIFA, and they had Unravel 2. That's it.
Well, Unravel 2 didn't sell as well as the first one.
That's true across all systems. I'm sure it didn't do well on Switch, but it's odd that there's like, well, if Unravel 2 didn't sell well, no point in giving them The Sims, no point in giving them Plants vs. Zombies, no point in giving them any Star Wars game. Like, if I was Disney, I'd be super mad that the people I gave the Star Wars license to are ignoring the entire Switch audience, which is a lot of kids, which is a lot of very
Disney,
prime market for Star Wars. Like, I'd be like, what are you doing? I mean,
they could just not support it with the games that I don't know.
Okay, so don't give us Need for Speed. Don't give us
I feel like Plants vs. Zombies and all those other games will do really, really well.
Yeah, like think about Garden Warfare. That's perfect for the Splatoon audience. Any of the
and I've actually always wanted to play that one just to play.
Like any of the PopCap games, any of those more casual games would be fine for like party scenarios with the Switch. Like it's so weird to me. Like if I was a developer at EA and I worked on these properties, I'd be like, oh, we're not bringing those to the console.
Didn't we get the Octopus game, or that was like the last game we got before EA?
Dad?
No. It's like Octageddon. It's like it's by the guy that did Plants vs. Zombies.
It's not an EA game.
Oh.
He left, but we did get from them. They did publish an indie game. I forgot what it's called. It's escaping me, but it's like purple and you're a wolf and you're running through a forest. But that's not what EA's talking about here. They're talking about their real games. Like,
they're indie. Oh, you mean FIFA?
Yeah. What?
You mean FIFA?
I mean anything that has EA's actual developers working on it, opposed to them just publishing for indies. But yeah, I really thought there was hope because like earlier this year, I think it was where Unravel 2's happening, and then there's rumors that the Frostbite engine is going to be optimized for Switch, and it all looked really positive, and then all that fell apart.
I'm surprised that they didn't bring out Apex Legends out on the Switch.
Yeah, I mean
because that's not a graphically intensive game, and it doesn't seem like a hardware intensive game either.
And Fortnite is huge.
Yeah, Fortnite is huge on Switch,
and Paladins is big on Switch, and all those are big on Switch, and it's weird that like they wouldn't do that. Yeah, because even Respawn's like, hey, we're not ruling it out.
Do you still play Overwatch once in a while?
Overwatch, no. Overwatch, I'm kind of done.
I feel like Overwatch could come to
what
Switch
character? Overwatch can absolutely come to Switch.
What was the last character that was announced when you were still playing?
Overwatch. What was the last character? Oh
Like,
man,
was it the hamster?
no, it was Baptiste.
Oh,
It was the
I didn't realize there were more characters after the hamster.
yeah. There was
I remember Brigidi and the hamster,
yeah.
and there was some.
Brigetta.
Is that the
Wrecking
dude
Ball.
with the shield? I don't remember.
He has like an invincibility shield.
Oh yeah. Huh. I wonder what else they've announced. I like seeing the designs.
Yeah, they announced a new hero that is currently in beta right now.
Oh.
The one without shoes, right?
Yeah, the guy with
no shoes.
no shoes. Yeah. Are you a feet guy?
Am I what?
Are you a feet guy?
No.
Is that why you keep bringing up the shoes thing?
No, I'm not Quentin Tarantino. There's a lot of feet.
Oh, I thought you meant the other way.
Like
Like maybe like it really bothers him. I don't know.
No. I saw. So basically, they apparently didn't give him shoes because he
Corin-
broke out of a mental hospital of some sort. So the lack of shoes is supposed to represent that he's mentally unstable. And there's like almost like a little mini
Corin
Twitter
is
controversy.
mentally unstable.
What?
So Corin is also
I
mentally
wouldn't say
unstable?
mentally unstable. More like he's an escapee.
Okay, yeah. But then like people are like, how dare you like show people from mental hospitals without shoes to imply they're insane? And they're like, no, literally his plot is he escaped from one, so that's why he doesn't have shoes. But that's theirs I brought up. But yeah, I feel like we're at the same point where stuff like Overwatch could happen. Anything that's not EA, apparently, like I wouldn't be surprised if Bethesda
Is
starts bringing a
Hearthstone
bunch of other
on
stuff.
the Switch
No,
yet?
it's not.
No,
that's weird.
that one really surprises me because
Yeah, and like Diablo 3 did really well. So like
are there a lot of
there's people that will play
free to play
these
like?
things.
Are there any free to play games like Hearthstone?
There
on
are
Switch?
there's Elder
there any-
Scrolls card game, whatever it's called, that's coming. There's another one that just came out that's by indies, by an indie studio.
There's that free to play Elder Scrolls game as well.
Yeah.
The Quest? No.
Wow, I should know because I played.
Aren't they bringing a Lord of the
Elder
Rings
Scrolls.
card
Elder Scrolls
game?
There's Lord of the Rings card game. There's Settlers of Catan that you could play, but if you want to play multiplayer, only online, not local, because they couldn't figure out how.
Well, that one's different though. That one's
I know.
Yeah. And I guess Fortnite is a free to play game that you can survive off its own currency.
V-Bucks.
Yeah, I mean Hearthstone you could definitely survive off its own currency.
Yeah. But yeah, Elder Scrolls. It's not Quest. It's
Blades.
Yeah.
Which
is
actually,
that's also free to play, right?
Yeah, it's free to play. I actually kind of like the E3.
Yeah, they have the Switchblade joke and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think I mentioned it on our E3 episode, but it's actually a pretty fun like throwback to like first-person dungeon crawlers. Yeah, it was a good playthrough. Speaking of playthroughs, I think we're done with news, but we do have what we're playing, which is many. There's many of us here, so there could be many things. Angel, you want to start? You're playing some new releases.
Very small one, so I'll be. It won't be long, but essentially, the first one was just Mighty Switch Force Collection. I mean, I already talked about the first, I guess, every Mighty Switch Force game besides Academy, because that's the only one that wasn't released on a Nintendo platform.
That's the multiplayer one too.
Yeah, so you get Mighty Switch Force 1, which is really great. You get Mighty Switch Force Hyperdrive Edition, which is just HD, which is the exact same game, but
yeah, it's a little weird that they're both there.
Yeah, but
this is not the game that I was expecting.
What are we talking about? Mighty Switch Force?
Mighty Switch Force.
It's
I get this confused with Mighty Gunvolt.
Oh, or Mighty Flip Force. They have a lot of Mighty games,
Sorry.
but yeah. So I mean, both of them, it's the exact same game, but the art, like one is pixel art and one is like hand drawn, traditionally animated. So I mean, I kind of have incentive to play both just because it looks very different, especially on a TV.
Right.
You do lose out on the 3D effect, which was kind of like the whole reason it probably even got conceived. Then you get yeah, and then you get Mighty Switch Force 2, where you're a fireman, and it changes the mechanics a lot, and it's really fun. And obviously the biggest difference, or the one I'm mainly going to talk about, is Mighty Switch Force Academy, where that one just takes everything you learned from the first 3 games and turns it into a 4-player co-op game, which is really interesting because so essentially the game revolves around you press the shoulder button and it makes platforms go from the background to the foreground and vice versa. And sometimes they have multiple layers of them where you could rotate between a bunch of them. And if you're standing in an area where a platform will be, while someone presses the button to switch it, you will die. So you have to coordinate with everyone else to be like, all right, I'm about to switch in 3, 2, 1. And the counting is actually really important because I have killed my teammates many, many times, and they have also killed me many, many times like that. But once you are all in sync, or you have someone just task them with being the flipper, and everyone else just kind of works around their countdown. I don't know, it's really, really fun. It's fun and challenging, and they also have these par times that are really fun to beat because they're just out of reach. So you're always like, all right, cool, we could beat it. Well, we played the level, and the levels are short enough that you don't get bored of them. And we've gotten through the first boss level, which was really cool. And that one person could be in charge of flipping the entire time, and everyone else just has to sync up to them, which was really cool. But it's definitely very different. There's definitely no game on the Switch that has this kind of multiplayer. And
it's so weird that it never was on a Nintendo system before, since it's multiplayer oriented. It was only on Steam,
I don't know why.
right?
Well, because like everything is super zoomed out. Like because you see the entire play area, and since you have 4 people, you could go really far apart. But on the 3DS, it'd be way too tiny. Like it would not work at all.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking more like Wii U.
I think that's the only reason. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't on Wii U, but
because you can even use the gamepad as like kind of a viewfinder for the big zoomed out.
Yeah, they could have done that, but yeah. So that's like, I mean, I would definitely recommend that just because it was really fun. There is a competitive mode to it, but for that one, you can't switch whenever you want willy nilly. You have to collect Switch tokens. I mean, it makes sense, otherwise it'd break it. But
so would you say basically buy it for Academy and then the other stuff is bonus?
Yeah, and if you've never played the other stuff, then it's also like really, really great.
And at that point, $20 for all those games.
I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite Way Forward games besides the Shantae. I mean, I don't think Way Forward has released a game I didn't like, so we'll kind of leave it at that.
Did Way Forward do that Mummy?
Yes, Mummy Demaster.
Mummy Demaster.
Did you play that?
They also did Contra 4.
Did you play
Mummy
Demaster?
No, Mummy Demaster. It's on my list of games to get. I just never got around to it because I don't know, just never did. But I mean, they did an awesome job with Contra 4, so I don't see why this game wouldn't be any good.
Yeah, Contra 4 is really good. Yeah.
And
also, let's really quick acknowledge every time he said Switch, Kevin snapped.
Every
time, that entire time. It was really. I don't know if the mic picked it up. I was like,
I heard it, but I was like,
content right
and
there.
I was like,
that's why Third Chair is back.
Yeah, I was like, what is that? Like, I didn't realize it was snapping. The other game I've been playing is Astro Bears. So that one is, I don't know if any of you played Super Stardust HD, or Mario Galaxy, which I guess makes more sense because it's a Nintendo podcast. So it's like if you took the running around planets of Mario Galaxy and swapped that out with Tron bikes. So replace the Tron bikes with bears for some reason. And that's pretty much it. That's literally it. It's just a multiplayer game. It's kind of like in the same vein as like Towerfall and those other kind of... Well, Towerfall has a lot of other stuff going on, but it's like those other multiplayer games where you're just like, you're playing for a few minutes and you move on to the next one.
It's interesting.
Like it's a fun addition to the rotation. Like we'll play Astro Duel, we'll play... I forget what else they play. Ultimate Chicken Horse and some other ones. Like we'll play this one too. Like
so there are 2 questions. One's a comment, one's a question. One, it's different from those other games in that I watched a video, so clearly I'm an expert. I watched all 45 seconds of it. You actually have split screen. It's not all one shared screen.
Oh no, yeah,
because
but I mean,
you're on a globe, you're all having your own.
But it fills the exact same gap. Like it's not a game you're not going to play for hours on end. It's a game you're going to play.
I didn't mean it would be, but I did have a question, which is there depth besides just you're cutting off other bears as your little bike thing?
There's
equivalent?
Options.
Like, are there items? Are there modes?
So,
what,
I mean, there's 3.
What's there?
I mean, you're pretty much, that's all you're doing. You're just, like, trying to be the last bear standing. And you can make it so that the trail you leave behind is finite. And you could also change the size of the planets, but you could also make it so it's infinite. Which is definitely the way to play, because then eventually there's just
that's how
crazy tunnels, and you could jump, you can hover, you can dash, which change it up a little. You could just like bounce the entire time to make it annoying for everyone else to get through.
Does the jump make the trail actually go up, or is there a gap? Oh, interesting.
So that means you have to sometimes watch out for jumps, because sometimes jumping will mean you'll crash into someone else's.
Depth versus Tron, where it's all flat.
I thought you could jump in Tron. Well, I mean, I guess there's ramps, but I mean, it still follows their trajectory or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I mean, there's that. Just survival mode. You could do it in teams of 2 versus 2. You can also do what literally is just snake. You know, like when you grab an apple and the snake grows. Yeah. There's that.
Those are apples in Snake?
They're supposed to be.
Huh.
It was literally just a pixel.
Yeah, it was a square.
On my dad's Nokia.
Well,
I was just like, it's a square that's multiplying into other squares.
In the title screen art, it's
an apple? This is...
And when they also
What did I blow your mind with before? Oh, Walkman, Game Boy.
Game Boy, yeah.
Yeah, this is that for me right now. That's an apple.
But instead of apple, there's fish with rockets.
Wait, is it an apple because it started on Nokia, and Nokia was trying to be... Oh, wait, no, they didn't have an iPhone
it's because of the... It's because
you're like 10 years too early, man.
Yeah.
It's because of the whole Ian thing, you know? The
I know. I was trying to think of some weird dig at Apple because I wanted to make it more than it was.
Oh, well, instead of apples, you have these fishes with jetpacks, and you just like chase after them, you get a fish, your trail extends, and you just keep doing that until you die. And that's pretty much it. There's no online multiplayer. There are different bears with different stats. Like, you could change the turning radius, how fast their jetpack recharges. Like, they just manipulate all the... I mean, yeah, you have like 6 different bears. One of the bears has pretty bad stats, but he's the only one that has to take 2 hits to die, so...
So it's worth bearing it out.
I don't know, because I feel you're better off
getting...
getting...
high-five me for that one? No?
I know why I joined this.
I feel you're better off just picking the bear with the better turning radius, but... I mean, it's a fun game. It's I don't know. I feel like it's... Man, is it worth $7?
$7? That's not too bad.
That's not that bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was thinking like it was like 15, 20,
No, 7's
maybe.
Well, the weird thing is that this game, I remember it came out like around the time that the Switch came out. It was like one of the first games. I know it was like $2, but I remember it was.
Oh.
What?
But I remember it had like a choppier frame rate. It was like
Oh, okay. So
it had like
That doesn't sound right.
it had like way less modes, and then recently like this one was getting advertised as like a recently released, and I'm like, oh, they actually cleaned it up and added way more stuff, and
it was probably an early access.
yeah, they probably even got rid of the original version from the eShop.
Yeah, it's not there.
Yeah,
I'm looking it up because I'm like, what?
yeah, because it was also called Astro Bears, so yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if you bought.
2017, summer 2017.
I wonder if you bought that version. You got this version for free.
Maybe did I have to buy Minecraft twice? Cause
Do you think they were like? I'm sorry in advance. Do you think they're like? We know that first one was unbearable, so we made a new one.
That was too easy.
You can just disconnect my mic now.
All right, so that's Astro Bear. I feel like I literally just killed the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Astro Bear. What have you been playing, Kevin? I won't make any puns about it, I promise.
So I have this complicated relationship with a little game called The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Oh, right. You sort of alluded to this before.
Yeah. So that trailer for the sequel actually bummed me out a little bit because because it looked really cool, and then the title card of the sequel to Breath of the Wild is being developed, and I didn't really like Breath of the Wild.
Why? In 400 words or less.
It just felt way too empty for me.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That was much fewer than 400 words.
It just felt way too empty for me. Weapon degrading.
Oh god, the weapon degrading.
That's very annoying.
I just hated it, and I got to the
it's a nice first attempt for Nintendo at an open world like that, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I got to the first Divine Beast, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this for 3 more.
Right.
You don't have to, though.
Skipped the
Divine Beast.
That's the beauty of the truly open world of The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, now available on Nintendo Switch.
You absolutely don't have to, but this being their first attempt at an open world Zelda game, I was like, well, I want to play it maybe the way that the developers that
the Nintendo gods
intended, but I just couldn't get into it. So that trailer looked super cool. Then it said it was a sequel, so I was like, all right, let me give this game one more chance. Maybe about 4 hours into it, and it still just hasn't hooked into me the same way that Twilight Princess did, the same way that Wind Waker did.
Yeah, those are staying more true to their formula, though. I'm hoping the sequel, maybe they're good at taking feedback. Maybe they'll actually address all the issues people had. Or maybe it'll be a completely different game that didn't say it was going to be open world. So
yeah, we had all sorts of theories when it was first announced.
Yeah, but
what if it's actually not as open world? What if it's
co-op?
I feel like it absolutely is, just because they specifically call it a sequel to Breath of the Wild.
That's just because they want to sell. That's because the plot will continue. That's because it's using the same engine. That's because
not necessarily. They could have easily just said the next Legend of Zelda game is in development.
But it could be as much of a sequel as Majora's Mask was to Ocarina of Time, which
true.
are pretty different.
That is definitely a sequel.
Or A Link Between Worlds was to A Link to the Past, which is also they have some similarities, but they're really different.
Yeah, so
just give you a little hope.
That's true. Zelda sequels are usually
Zelda sequels. So I made this point on the podcast where we talked about it, but Zelda sequels are when Nintendo goes, okay, we established the thing, let's get weird now, and then they just go whatever weird. It's like when Mario Galaxy 2 came out. There's all the wacky ideas that didn't make the cut the first time. Here we go. So Zeldas usually are strange for the sequels. I like the strange.
Currently, I am way more excited for Link's Awakening than I am for this Breath of the Wild sequel. I don't think that I'm probably going to get too far into Breath of the Wild again.
Right.
I'll probably do a different Divine Beast than the one that I did, just to see if it somehow
clicks.
If something clicks, but I don't know, that game was pretty disappointing to me. I know a lot of people love it, and that's fine. It just didn't.
Your personal.
It just didn't hook into me the same way Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't hook into me. I love the first Red Dead Redemption game, and the second one just didn't do it for me either. So
Interesting.
yeah, I'm just full of hot takes.
It's weird. Like,
Sonic Adventure 2 is better than Sonic Adventure 1.
I feel like the way people play that game,
that's
though,
not a hot
like,
take. That's just the truth.
I feel like the way, like, the kind of player you are, like, also, I don't know, Breath of the Wild, for that reason, like, he said he wanted to play it, like, the way they thought intended, but, like, me being me, I was like, I just want to get to the end, so that gave me the best experience I could have asked for, because I didn't have to do any unnecessary exploring. I just went straight for Ganon's Tower, and I got it was hard as hell, if you can imagine, because I had, like, nothing, like, no armor,
very ill prepared for that battle.
Yeah, I had to, like, I had to deflect missiles with a pot lid, and I mean, it worked. Like,
haven't we all?
Like, I eventually, like, took me a bunch of tries, but I eventually got to beat it. And then one of my brother-in-law, like, every gripe he had about the game was something that me just playing through the end addressed, because he was saying that the final boss was too easy, and that everything was there wasn't. Yeah, I guess the game was just too easy. That was just a big complaint. It was just really easy, and I'm like, oh, like, it definitely wasn't easy for me, but that's just because I played at that game. Right. But then again, that's the difference between his playthrough of like 40 hours versus mine that was just like 10, maybe less.
Yeah.
Yeah, my original playthrough for that first Divine Beast, I think I played about 10 hours of it.
Actually, it definitely wasn't 10 hours. It was like 5. But
you beat Zelda in 5 hours. Well, I guess
yeah, because you could. But then I went back, and then
because then you filled in the world.
Well, because now I'm doing heroic mode, and then now I'm actually like talking to every single NPC, and I stopped playing after. I didn't even get to the
That sounds
Divine
tedious.
Beast.
That just sounds tedious.
Yeah, but I'm like, all right, heroic mode may make it better, but
yeah.
Did you guys see the video of Polygon posted of the guy who made 87 Breath of the Wild recipes?
Oh,
No,
I did watch
Is it
that.
the guy who also made his own poker rap? Is that same
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that guy's great.
Brian
Brian
David Gilmore.
Yeah,
he's
he
great.
cooks.
Hilarious.
He's great.
Yeah, they took some shortcuts, but they had to.
Yeah,
but,
they had
Well,
to
yeah,
for the time span. His reaction to
a lot of things didn't have salt, basically.
Oh yeah, like they were basically like, so the way that this works is we're gonna taste everything and then we're gonna grade it on hearts. So if it's really good, on a scale from 1 to 10 hearts.
Yeah.
But if it's really bad, obviously negative hearts.
Right.
And
did anything get positive hearts?
no, there's a bunch of stuff that got.
Okay.
The fried bread that they made apparently was the best thing that they made.
It's hard to mess up bread. I like to think.
A lot of their chowder stuff was really bad.
Yeah.
That does not surprise me.
Their steamed, their reaction to when they revealed their steamed fish, I was laughing for like 5 minutes straight.
Well, for those who haven't seen it, I'll hunt down a link to this video and we'll throw it on the blog post so you guys can all check it out.
Shouldn't be hard to find. I'm pretty sure if you type
If you just put
cooking,
Listen, guys, I'm
Zelda.
gonna search high and low. I'm gonna hunt it down. I'm gonna go into the jungle and fetch it, and I will put it on the blog post.
You should watch that video.
I definitely watched
really
it.
entertaining.
His poker rap was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Pokemon, speaking of things that we haven't talked about in a while or revisiting, it's been a while, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to talk about Pokemon Go real quick.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so my playtime with the game, I used to talk about it a lot on the show, and I played it a lot, but my playtime with the game actually dropped for most of the summer because the group of coworkers I tended to play with weren't as active as they used to be. And now, and what I can only assume is Niantic spying on me and seeing I don't have people to play with, they introduced a whole like cool little solo mode thing with Team Rocket and some new gameplay mechanics.
They're Go Rocket, right?
Team Go Rocket, that's
Go
correct.
Rocket.
Yeah. So I should actually back up a bit first. The game's always had some level of single player. Obviously, catching Pokemon's a solo affair. You could try and take down a gym on your own if you want. It doesn't always work. But from day one, the pitch for Pokemon Go has always been that the game is about getting outside. It's about walking around. It's about being social, meeting people. And that's great when you have people to play with. And it's so great that they managed to download. The download count for Pokemon Go is now over 1 billion. That's 1 billion with a B. So clearly it's working. I'm not saying it doesn't work. The problem is, if your group loses interest in the game, you have significantly less you can do. Like, sure, you can go try and make some new Pokemon friends. That's what Niantic wants you to do. But you really have to be driven. You need to go find a group online. You need to coordinate a meetup time, or you need to set aside time on community day and go out. And you're always running the risk of, this is a real thing that happened in Japan, you're running a risk of getting punched in the face repeatedly by a 43-year-old man because you took his Pokemon gym. That's an actual thing the police had to be called. So there's always, variables. I mean, obviously the dude getting punched in the face is not a real concern. But my point is, there's not a lot to do solo unless you want to just hope for the best on your own or just battle your team leader CPU character and train up, and that just feels a bit flat. So what I was excited to see was this whole new Team Rocket mechanic, Team Go Rocket, that came into play, and I'm happy to report it's pretty cool. I actually like it a lot. So there's a number of changes in the typical Pokemon Go routine that came out of it. First, they actually now have other trainers visible on the map. So when you go, basically what happens is Team Rocket will take over Pokestops, turn them black, and then have a grunt standing next to it. And as you come up on the Pokestop, he sort of appears on the map. It's super racist. You walk up, you spin the stop as normal.
Keep politics out of my Pokemon game.
I know, keep Pokemon politic free. Come on, people. But it's you walk up, you spin the stop as normal, and then after collecting the items, you're given the opportunity to battle this grunt who may or may not be a racist trope in my Pokemon game. And you don't specifically know what Pokemon they have going into it, but they have sort of one-liners of dialogue that hint what it is. Dumb things like, this is going to leave you burned. It's like, okay, so they have fire types, I just get water types. Cool. But then you pick a team of 3, as you would for any normal PvP trainer battle, and you hop into a battle with the grunt. They're all CPU controlled, obviously, but what makes it more than just a boring tap fest is Niantic actually changed how player versus player and player versus rocket battles work. So instead of just hammering the attack button to build up a powered up move, and then hammering it harder to use that powered up move, you now swipe a lot. It's basically like, I don't know if you guys have seen it of Harry Potter Wizards Unite, which is Niantic's other game.
I saw someone playing it on a bus.
Really? Because I feel like that game has no buzz compared to what Pokemon Go had a few.
Oh, no, not on a bus. On a queue for the Harry Potter line at Universal Studios.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that changes my reaction entirely. But so I don't know if you saw when you were playing it, but everything you do is involving swiping and making different gestures. So they sort of brought some of that.
The map was like, oh, okay, that looks familiar, but everything else was completely different.
So they brought a little of that to Pokemon Go with the new trainer battle system that they use for Go Rocket, in that you power up an attack, you do the attack, and then depending on what type of attack it is, you have different sets of icons in different shapes you need to basically tap as quickly as you can or swipe around as quickly as you can. So like some will be zigzags, some will be circles, some will be kind of like a winding snake, and that sounds very whatever. It's not a huge amount of extra depth over just mindlessly tapping, but it varies up enough that it did actually feel more engaging, and it did actually kind of make the battles against the computer more fun. I mean, you're basically just swiping as fast as you can to max up the attack. So even if you don't do very well and you're only half paying attention, you still do some damage. But I found that you really do need to fully do it if you want to actually beat Team Rocket. So there was like a reward at the end. And they still have the whole, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the trainer battles, but they do have the whole mechanic of, you have 2 shields, you have to pick one and use them, be strategic. So that's still there. This is just on top of that. And then once you win in battle, which I'll admit actually was a bit harder than I thought it would be for fighting a computer. And it's coming from a level 32 player, so it's not like I'm like new to this. But 32 out of 40 guys, I'm in the upper echelon. But but yeah, you beat them, you get a chance to catch the Pokemon. Much like after winning a raid, you get Premier Ball. You get a certain number based on how you did, and then you try and catch this Pokemon that Team Rocket had with the Premier Ball. The twist is this Pokemon's a shadow Pokemon, so it has a cool little glow. And then when you catch it, you can leave it shadowy, or you can purify it, and it gets boosted stats over a regular version of that Pokemon.
Reminds me of Coliseum.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, isn't that the whole thing? You purify Pokemon?
Yes, yeah. I think that's what they're riffing on a little. It's the same glow, too, now that you know.
Oh, really?
Or very similar. But yeah, and that's pretty much the gist of what they're doing. But what's kind of cool is it's basically a hybrid of raids and battles, but it has a huge bonus, at least I consider it a huge bonus, of being something I can actually go play on my own. I don't need to rely on a group. I don't need to time it. I can just go. No pun intended. And it may not sound like much, but I found that actually did kind of hook me on it again. Like, I'm actually kind of checking for Pokemon, for Pokestops, seeing if their Team Rocket takeovers or not. Like, I was with you, Angel, and some of friends on Sunday.
Yeah, we knew you were playing.
Yeah, so there was 1 hour where they had every Pokestop be Team Rocket, and I was like, I gotta do this. And I was just like, I never like doing that. I can never completely ignore people when I'm like out with friends, but I was just totally.
Oh, you didn't ignore us.
Oh yeah, I update you every step of the way. Yeah, but and I think Niantic, honestly, they know.
I think we were all doing it together,
except only me. But I think Niantic knows that there's some hope to get people rehooked with this. Like, this can bring in lapsed folk like myself, because they've been marketing this a lot harder than other Pokemon Go stuff. I mean, they had a fake social media takeover. They emailed out like a Team Go Rocket manifesto to all the players. I'm not kidding. They did it was a little cheesy.
That's not too much.
A little. They did a thing in New York where they had these people dressed up as Team Rocket actually like run around and like tag Pokemon Go billboards and stuff, and they were like reporting on social media, and they had people like they had like a plane. I'm not making this up. They had a plane flying over New York City with a banner on it that said like "We need to stop Team Rocket," and like had the Pokemon Go logo, and it is.
That's not a. Especially in New York.
No, I think most people roll their eyes at it. But the point is, like, they don't do marketing like that for any other features. Like, they really have hope in this. And I genuinely think if you enjoy the individual aspects of Go, you'll like this.
That's
like,
funny,
it fast tracks.
I have, like, zero interest in even trying it.
Well, you have to enjoy all the individual aspects. That's what I'm saying. If you like every piece of Pokemon Go...
I've grown enough to like Go to play it almost every day, but...
You should try because it basically fast tracks all the stuff you can do normally, but lets you do it solo and lets you get all the perks.
It just seems like.
But you're more about collecting than battling, so.
Yeah, I just want to catch them all. Like I don't even think I've done a single. No, I did one trainer battle when they first came out just to see what they were about.
But I mean, to that end,
and
if you don't care about the stats of Pokemon, you just want all the Pokemon. There's no purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't care about the raids, you don't care about the gyms. But if you're someone that does.
Well, I mean, I have to care about the raids because that's the only way to get some Pokemon.
But I mean, if you dabble in all aspects of Pokemon. And like all aspects of Pokemon Go,
it seems like a nice addition.
It's a cool way that all comes together. So I would recommend checking it out. They're actually adding more Shadow Pokemon all the time. They just did Magikarp and Scyther and a few others, like 7 or 8 others. So yeah, I'd recommend it. If you've played Pokemon Go and you liked it and you're kind of like, is this worth my time? Try it. It's nice. And I think, unless there's any other games to talk about, that might be it for this episode. It was a long one. That's what happens when you got a third chair. But yeah, so we're going to be back on August 18th for our next episode. Should be a good one. We're gonna, I think, have impressions of Wolfenstein Youngblood on Switch.
From who?
From us, because
you guys are buying it?
No, the fine folks at Bethesda actually sent us a copy with co-op. So
what?
Kevin, would you like to? I feel like I'm proposing you, and like, Kevin, would you like to join me in co-op? We'll figure out the logistics. But yeah, they were very nice to give us a copy via email. So we're gonna check that out.
You two are the ones that enjoyed the Doomed and the
and
you actually played the first
Wolfenstein,
right?
Wolfenstein 1 and 2 are both great games.
Yeah, so we'll definitely cover that next episode along with whatever news there is, whatever other games, whatever other games we're playing. What?
Two-hand disaster?
Oh yeah, a dual-hand disaster.
Yeah.
That's
I'll be playing that one.
Yeah, so we'll have a lot of games to talk about. Best way to make sure you don't miss it, you can follow and subscribe. We're on Twitter at Ram Nintendo. We're on all the podcast apps if you use one, we're there. I mean, we're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, YouTube. Our channel is RamNintendo.com. There's probably like 7 more I'm not thinking of. We're in your infotainment system if you have a car that has Stitcher, where you can literally look us up in your car. And you can also follow us individually. I'm JSR7 on Twitter. Angel is Wero on Twitter, WEIRO_O. And Kevin, you are...
KVN Gomez.
That's right. Okay. I don't know why.
The most straightforward one.
Yeah, I'm just out of habit used to saying ours, and I was like, wait, what is yours? But, yeah. So there you go. That's our show. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Does anyone want a last word? Well, that's our last word.